is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacey Lynn. We begin with deadly flooding in Texas, which has claimed the lives of at least 24 people. Governor Greg Abbott.
So many people have been swept up into an extraordinary catastrophe.
Now, hundreds have been rescued so far, but the search continues for 20 girls who are still missing. They were at a summer camp located along a river, which swelled more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. CBS's Jason Allen is in Caryville, Texas.
The Guadalupe River washed it all away. I had to ask the owner of the property what it was. This was an RV park located here along the river, and there were dozens and dozens of recreational vehicles that were parked here, and there were also dozens and dozens of small cabins that people were staying in for the holiday. And all of those structures, all of those RVs are now gone, and they are somewhere down the river.
To the Middle East now, where Hamas is in ceasefire discussions to stop the fighting in Gaza. The BBC's Ione Wells reports from Jerusalem.
They want an end to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, that controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed aid distributor in Gaza. This organization has been mired in controversy since it started operating in Gaza in late May, not least because of the near-daily reports of Palestinians being shot at by IDF soldiers while trying to seek aid.
Israel's prime minister's ruled out ending the war until all of the hostages are released and Hamas's military and governing capabilities are destroyed. A 4th of July celebration at the White House included President Trump signing into law his massive tax and spending plan.
We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them.
CBS's Stephen Kaufman tells us about an Arizona ice cream shop that just received a big honor.
Novel Ice Cream in Mesa, Arizona has just been ranked the top ice cream shop in the country by Yelp. Shop owner Sean Allard says he has about 250 flavors, but only offers 12 a day to keep the ice cream fresh.
We don't try to go too out of the box with crazy flavors, but the most popular one that's unusual is the bourbon caramel toffee crunch.
Allard says he owes his success to a great product and a presence on social media.
Through social media, community events and pop-ups, and just being in business long enough, it tends to help you continue to grow.
And Cone Flower Creamery in Omaha, Nebraska took the number 2 spot. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It was a moment fans never thought they'd ever see.
No, I don't think anyone of us really truly thought it had ever happened.
Noel and Liam Gallagher putting their feud behind them and getting back on stage. Oasis kicked off their long-awaited reunion tour last night in Cardiff, Wales. It was a sold-out show that fans had been hoping for since the guys broke up back in 2009.
Well, I think just the nostalgia. All of us sort of grew up listening to it and we just absolutely adore them.
Mark Sutherland is a music journalist.
The thing that makes the Oasis reunion special is the thing that makes any reunion special, really. It has to be something that people really want and something that people thought they'd never see. And Oasis ticks both those boxes.
The U.S. leg of the 5-month world tour hits Chicago late next month. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing.
I don't have any cravings.
You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Early bird special, only $49.99. No irritability, no cravings. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. In addition, use hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Hilton Garden in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Greentree. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a hotter middle day of this holiday weekend with sunshine and a high of 90, followed by a clear sky tonight with a low of 69. It turns even hotter for tomorrow with sunshine and a high of 93, leading to a more humid Monday with more clouds around. Watch for afternoon showers and a thunderstorm, high 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, your Pratt Pack. It is Saturday morning, and the lead story you heard CBS Radio News moments ago. Dozens of people are dead in Central Texas in what officials call a mass casualty event after devastating flash floods slammed hill country, with water rescues taking place along the Guadalupe River. While officials couldn't confirm an exact number of those who remain unaccounted for, they said between 23 and 25 people were still missing from Camp Mystic, a children's summer camp. This is when you take time to reflect and pause and send out your thoughts and prayers, but also take time to realize how precious every single moment is, and you have to embrace it, because one thing can happen when you least expect it. It can turn everything upside down. You know, I must tell you, in all my years in broadcasting, I have never dealt with so many weather-related stories as I have in recent years. And this is just another indication of something strange is happening with weather throughout our country. But when you think of something that devastating and that quick, it should also make you realize that when you hear these weather warnings and certain things concerning news-related stories and weather, you need to pay attention. Because, as I said, when you least expect it. But for the people of that community, obviously they are going through a very rough time right now, and I couldn't think of anything else that I would want to start this day after the 4th as we are into our holiday weekend than this. Why? Because it's human interest. It's people dealing with loss, and obviously a story that will affect generations for many years to come. You know, I've talked about these tragedies in the past, whatever they may be connected to. It is about those surviving members, community, neighbors, and of course, family members who will have to move forward now in life without their loved ones. And how quickly, 1 minute you think the world is just going to continue to go on, and something like this catastrophic happens, and everything comes to a halt. So sad, so frightening to think how weather can really change that quickly and take so many innocent lives. But to those who are out there fighting the good fight, all of those first responders, we too send our thoughts and prayers out to them. And these are the people who have decided in their life a long time ago that they wanted to make a difference. Challenging as it may be, it is still, I think, a calling. And where would we be without those first responders? So my advice as we get ready to move into the weekend and have a chance to talk about some of the other top stories making news, I just wanted to begin today by sending out my thoughts and prayers to the people of that community in Texas. And hopefully it will be a time for healing and they will be able to move on. But one thing is for sure, what has happened in recent days will never, ever be forgotten. In CBS Radio News, along with KDKA, our news, Rob Taylor today will have the latest on this story. So stay with us right here. Well, yesterday it was a special day for the president, the first lady, his family, and those that were in attendance for his 4th of July picnic celebration. Yes, the big, beautiful bill was signed off on that Oval Office desk on a historic day, July 4th, our Independence Day. He also was talking about, as we approach next year, 250, what he is going to be doing. It's going to be an epic celebration marking an incredible anniversary to the greatest nation on the planet. Now, I know a lot of you are confused and still wondering what will happen with such things like Medicaid because of this bill and who exactly is going to get a tax break. But one thing is for sure, the way the president was talking and others have been talking, those who know dollars and cents and understand the logistics of this big, beautiful book that is a big, beautiful novel to many, but a nightmare to others. He's talking about tax breaks for working class people, giving people that go out every day and put in that sweat equity just to make a living. He said this was the stopgap. This was the only way we could prevent from taxing the citizenship. I will tell you this. I truly believe, as the president has done in so many other situations, as he will with this tariff pause that comes to an end July 9th, he will work the art of the deal and be able to create a bridge to meet people halfway. And I still think one of the reasons we live in the greatest country in the world is because of all we have to offer to the citizenship, especially when it comes to things like health care. Look, the government does a lot of incredible things really well. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, second to none. And being that I'm in that bracket, that age category, it's more prevalent to me now than ever before that we need to hold on to these things, not just for my generation as we baby boomers age out, but the generations that will be coming shortly after us. One thing I have learned, time truly never stands still for anyone. And we here in this region are the second oldest community next to Dade County in Florida. And thousands of baby boomers each and every year are getting towards that 65, that age that most of you decide to go on Medicare, and things like Medicaid start coming into the conversation, and Social Security. And sadly, because we have lost so many generations of manufacturing and healthy 401ks, and the pension that we knew as children because of our parents and grandparents is pretty much a thing of the past. I believe the president is trying to reset everything in America, whether it be tariffs or obviously frivolous spending when it comes to the government, so it will be healthy for future generations. And I also know that he believes he has a responsibility for people who are in that age category right now that need these essential parts of what the government provides. But know this, July 4th weekend will continue, as will our independence and our democracy and Constitution, but hopefully we'll be stronger in the future because what he has done. Yeah, it's really been a strange couple of days with this big, beautiful bill. I mean, I will tell you this. I was watching a speech of his yesterday morning when working from the home studio, and we were preparing our daily information stuff to kind of tie in what we were going to do here over the weekend. And I looked up in the midst of editing some video, and I just turned up the volume, and it was a chant of USA, USA. I don't know if I've ever felt this patriotic on a 4th of July holiday weekend. Now, I know this man has really rubbed us all the wrong way at times, left us scratching our head and wondering what the future holds. But this is the question that I posed to you this first hour of the broadcast. Why is he getting more things right to where people are backing him up? I mean, think about how quickly this budget was done. While we in the Commonwealth are still wondering, will we ever get a budget done? How is it that he has made people buy into the belief that this big, beautiful bill is the best future for the big, beautiful country that is the United States of America? I mean, the guy has been winning. I mean, he has won with what he did in Iran by attacking those nuclear sites. He has won while getting Israel and Hamas and Iran to stop all the madness. Vladimir Putin has been on the phone after Vladimir Putin telling him he'd like to help him with Iran. The president said, no, we can handle that, but you need to tell me that you're going to stop this nonsense as far as the war is concerned. He's even got Vladimir Putin's ear. And now the economy, the tariffs, reeling people in. China has cut a deal to start doing business with us again. Nippon-U.S. deal, that deal is done. I mean, when you think about it, he just keeps winning. So explain to me how that is happening at a ferocious pace. I mean, I've never seen anybody within months of being in office working so hard and accomplishing so much. What is the difference maker? All right, we'll take your calls on the other side. It's your Pratt Pack. Happy holiday weekend, and good morning, and welcome to another weekend at KDKA.
Support St. Anthony School programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy services, and job skills development, serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find them within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, St. Anthony School has empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at stanthonykids.org.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. 2 teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Leonard Straff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a 1-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
The Shindig Charitable Music Fest, August 1st through the 3rd at Union Brewing in Zelienople, presented by My Preferred Insurance and Home Solutions, is packed with the best mix of 18 regional and local musicians, playing everything from 80s and 90s, country rock, blues, old school country, and classic and pop rock. All proceeds benefit local first responders. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Don't miss the Bethel Park Art and Music Festival, Saturday, July 26th from 10 until 6 at the Bethel Park Community Center. Enjoy over 80 artists, live bands, food trucks, and so much more. Admission is free and shuttle service is available all day.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Did you miss this week's Allegheny Health Network Medical Frontiers? Log on to the Allegheny Health Network website to listen to your favorite Medical Frontiers show. Visit ahn.org/Medical Frontiers Podcast and look for your favorite Medical Frontiers show.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah. Betty called me last week because her mother's in a nursing home and had given her $30,000 2 years ago. I told her that 5-year look back will not apply. We can get it fixed. Call Zachariah Brown at 724-942-6200 or visit PittsburghElderLaw.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, I don't know if this is fact or fiction. I don't think it's AI, but I got to bring it up anyway because it's a great idea. And Elon Musk is not wasting any time getting back to work and moving into the future. But I just saw this a few moments ago. It's Knowledge of Technology, and they're out in Los Angeles, California. Elon Musk revealing a 7,759 Tesla tiny house, the future of sustainable living. Are you ready to break free from high living costs? Discover how Tesla's $7,975 solar smart house is changing the game. The off-grid solar-powered tiny home requires no utility bills, no property taxes, and no land ownership, making it one of the most affordable, sustainable, and tax-free housing solutions ever designed. If you ever dreamed of living off-grid in a smart home built for the future, Tesla's new compact house could be the answer. I'm looking at the picture of this thing right now. He's standing out in front of it. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, see, this is what amazes me about this guy. Everybody thinks he's this mad scientist, but he really is trying to create stuff for middle-class America. I mean, from automobiles to stuff like this. I mean, it's fascinating. 866-391-1020. Let's go to Ed in Shaler to start our morning. Ed, good morning.
Good morning. I enjoyed Trump's speech yesterday very, very much. And if you paid attention, he did not take credit for anything. he gave all the credit to the people that's in the audience and the military, his staff, and I have given him a lot of credit for that. It's the reason why the Democrats do not like him, because he owes nobody nothing. He's a businessman. He knows how to work the economy. Now, keep in mind, the Democrats are saying this is going to cost us a lot of money. Okay? But if you put money and invest it in the bank, if I put $1 million in the bank today, I don't get the reap of it until a period of time when I'm a terrorist. So give this time, and this country is going to turn around like it's never been turned around before. So I'm so upset with the Democrats turning their back on him. And people, the fake news, keep saying he's going to destroy Medicare. There's a big difference between Medicare and Medicaid. All those illegals, all those criminals, all those people that come in here was given free Medicaid. And that's the people he's targeting. You have people collecting Social Security where their Uncle Joe or some guy had passed away 20 years ago. And they realize if they call Social Security, they're going to get one final payment for a burial expense, and it's cut off. So they refuse, they don't do it. So they're going through and they're scamming these people that they don't deserve Social Security. You have teenagers that qualify because their parents could qualify for Social Security. They're 20 and 30, 40 years old. They're still getting Social Security. They're not entitled to it. And so that's why they're going after Social Security, because there's so many people using Social Security, and they're not really entitled to it. The benefits ran out years ago, and they're still getting money. So I give credit to Trump for a lot. He's trying to get rid of all the theft that's going on with our Social Security, Medicare. It's not Medicare. There's me again. I'm getting just to be like fake news. It's not Medicare. It's Medicaid. And how many illegals are on that? All these criminals that's on Medicaid, getting it. They signed them up right away and gave them $6,000. I used to see that in PNC Bank. People would come in marching with 3 of them, illegals, and take them up to the tower's windows, get them signed up, get them accounts. They couldn't even speak English. You could tell by looking at them they were illegals. And then they turn around, you deal them out $6,000, give them a green card, have all this, and one by one they take them up to the teller's window, get them signed up, and get them checking accounts, and then they walk out with a credit card. Illegals. No, I didn't get that. I've been working all my life. I paid in Social Security. Now they're talking about not taxing Social Security. What's going to happen to that money? I'm going to get extra because I am on Social Security. I'm going to spend that money. That money is going to go into the economy. I took economics in school, and it took this guy 2 blackboards to explain to us. You can make money, the government can generate money if you build a library. With the construction, the labor goes into it, the money invested in it, the people spending money. And as soon as it gets built, tear it down, pay to have it tear it down, and build it again. Do that over and over and over again. And he had this thing all the way across the board about how that money, how it compounds. But one more thing I want to say before I go, and I said it. If I put money in the bank today, this is like an investment, all the Democrats will like him because he's a businessman. And if I put money in the bank today, I don't get the reap of that benefit until a period of time. If I open up a CD, which I do, I open up a CD, I don't get the benefit until a a period of time goes by. When the maturity date hits.
All right, Ed. I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. But, yeah, I don't want to single out. We shouldn't be singled out a particular bank either. Good people, good bank. Listen, and you're not definitely sure who is legal and who is an illegal. So, but, hey, I appreciate your opinion. But I did want to get to this before we go to a break, and we'll take some more calls on the other side. In a press release, SSA, Social Security Administration, of course, said that the tax and spending package, which the president is set to sign as he did into law yesterday, ensures that nearly 90% of Social Security beneficiaries will no longer pay their federal income tax on their benefits. That figure draws on the June analysis by the White House Council of Economic Advisors that said 88% of seniors, or 51.4 million people on Social Security, will pay no tax on their payments under the measure because their deductions would exceed their taxable benefits. The bill includes the largest tax break in American history for our nation's seniors, CEA said, adding that the deductions ensure that seniors who earned their Social Security through years of hard work get more money in their pockets. Yes, what is true, that the bill offers fresh tax relief for some people on Social Security. It is misleading to suggest that the measure does away with taxes on Social Security benefits policies. This, according to CBS Money Watch experts. The bill offers relief by creating a new bonus tax deduction for beneficiaries. While the deduction does provide some relief for seniors, it's far from completely repealing the tax on their benefits. Garrett Watson, director of the Policy Analysis Tax Foundation in Washington, D.C., think tank. He told the Associated Press this week ahead of Congress approving the bill. Social Security Administration and others will figure this thing out. A lot of smarter people in those administrations and that organization than your Pratt Pack, but I just wanted to kind of clarify that a little bit while I could. All right, listen, why is the guy winning? Then if people, and many of them call this show, do not believe in this guy, why are so many buying in? I mean, think about all the stuff he has gotten done. And we can't get a budget done in Pennsylvania, but look how quickly he got one done for the nation. And this isn't a knock on anybody. This is budgets everywhere. I mean, we talked to Jack Manning, Beaver County Commissioner, the other day, said, hey, it's going to be tough for them. Everybody. But this guy seems to roll the dice and get it done. How does that happen? 866-391-1020, your Pratt Pack holiday weekend, July 5th. Good morning.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Hilton Garden Inn in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight Loss Seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
At California Psychics, we know some people can't read the career warning signs. Like your boss, still not knowing your name.
You, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
So talk to California Psychics and receive the career guidance you need. We only connect you with the very best, so guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Sunday mornings at 6 a.m. on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, it's Tech Vibe Radio. Join hosts Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting from the Pittsburgh Technology Council's Huntington Bank Studios as they bring you a front row seat to Pittsburgh's tech sector.
Colin Dunlap on KDKA.
First offense, 15 years hard labor camp. Second offense, guillotine or firing squad. Those are your two choices. There is nothing more self-important on this earth than people who are in public spaces who are talking on the phone with it on speakerphone.
Weekdays 2 to 6 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. Catastrophic flooding in Texas has claimed the lives of at least 24 people. CBS's Jason Allen is in Kerrville, where the Guadalupe River swelled fast.
All of those structures, all of those RVs are now gone, and they are somewhere down the river.
There's a desperate search underway for girls who are at a summer camp where the waters rose. About 20 are unaccounted for. Hamas is in ceasefire discussions. The BBC's Ione Wells says they want an end to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
This organization has been mired in controversy since it started operating in Gaza in late May because of the near daily reports of Palestinians being shot at by IDF soldiers while trying to seek aid.
President Trump signed what he called his big, beautiful bill into law yesterday, which he says includes
the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Wondering why your meds cost so much, even with insurance? Or maybe your pharmacy shut down and now you don't know where to go. I'm Kyle from Blueberry Pharmacy. We do things differently. No insurance needed, no surprises. Just the real cost of your medication plus a small, transparent dispensing fee. It's called cost plus pricing, and it's how pharmacy should work. Anyone can use us with or without insurance. We ship across Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and Florida. Call 412-612-2279 or visit blueberrypharmacy.com. Blueberry Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's only 5-star pharmacy.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team as they discuss their favorite summer salad recipes. It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For today, expect lots of sun and a hotter day with a high of 90. Then a clear sky tonight on the way to a low of 69. Tomorrow looks even hotter with sunshine, high 93, followed by a more humid Monday with more clouds, a couple of afternoon showers, even a thunderstorm, and a high of 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, back at it, asking the simple question on the dawn after the big, beautiful bill gets signed during a big 4th of July picnic at the White House. Why does this guy keep winning if he's not getting anything right? 866-391-1020. Let's go to Ken. Then we've got Ted waiting in the wings. We'd love to hear from you. We are in open talk until 8 o'clock this morning. Hey, Ted. Ken, how are you? Good morning.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't know if you saw any of the 4th of July celebration at the White House yesterday. I mean, it seemed pretty patriotic to me. The Democrats seemed to do nothing but criticize. A few other things going on. I generally, when I call in, I'm talking of shared experiences, not stuff that's reported on the news, but stuff that's in the communities. I'll give you one example. I mean, I know you don't want to pick on banks like your last caller did. Pretty much hate to say it, but if he has proof of some of the stuff that's going on.
I know. Let's just not go there. Come on. Okay.
I know.
I know. Just drop it. Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, but anyway, with the responders and why this guy is winning. And you know what? Every person that is a supporter or non-supporter that sees stuff, they have to report some of this stuff that's going on in the communities. I feel bad for the seniors that are being abused in these high-rises because of, like what your last caller said, the younger people that are on these programs that victimize them by robbery and theft. And it's been reported many a times. The responders that go out there into the communities, like the police specifically, they have to police the communities. They have to step it up a little more. I'll give you an example in this community. Just last week alone, to sit there, about 2-3 months ago, we had bad storms in this area, wiped out roofs, aluminum siding. So where are the American crews? Where are the American crews doing this? I mean, you have illegal crews, and they're sitting there, and they will not ask. This is what gets me about the police in the communities, which I've heard about, but last week I've experienced it for myself. They do not police. Reason being, I'm coming up my alley. I have my alley's blocked. 2 vans and a truck. I think the one truck had a Pennsylvania plate. The other vans had out-of-state plates. So I'm trying to explain to these people in English, can you move your vehicles? Well, the one guy got it, and he moved vehicles so I get in my driveway and get into my garage, which was fine. Come back, leave, come back an hour later, they're blocking it up again. So finally, there's an American guy there. I'm talking to him. I'm saying, dude, you're going to have to leave this alleyway open. So he just stormed off and went the other direction. So I got out, squeezed out, and went the other way. Come back an hour later, they're doing it again. I call the police. You got to have this alley accessible in case of an emergency vehicle. And the police came. They kind of blamed me. I said, dude, you got to explain to these guys. He goes, well, you know what? He said, they're working. I said, I understand they're working. But here's the thing. I said, do you honestly think anybody's from this country? He goes, well, I'm not going to check IDs. I said, wait a minute. Isn't this your job? It's not my job. I mean, these police officers get paid to do a job. They are not. They will not step it up. And we need help from the American people to step it up. If it was up to me, I could go up and down almost every other block in Lower Burrell and find the illegal crews because they're all working. Where are the American crews? We need Americans to do these jobs. That's why our programs, Social Security Disability, Medicaid, is impacted. We need Americans to do these jobs. I mean, like I said, I live this. You sit behind a desk and read about it. But when I'm getting reports from other people and then it happens to me, then you're going to have to step it up.
All right, Ken. I live it too, man. I'm just like you. I put in 8 hours just like you. I just happen to sit behind the desk, but then there's another 10 hours that goes into it just before we even say good morning or good evening. So a lot more to this job than you think, young man. All right, have a great day. All right, next stop, let's go to Ted, Mount Washington. Ted, good morning and welcome to the show.
What's going on, Rob?
It is Saturday morning. It's good to hear your voice. How was your 4th?
Oh, fantastic. How was yours?
It was busy. Nice to get back to talking to my radio folks. All is good. Hopefully get a little downtime this weekend.
Yeah, Rob, keep going. You got to hit the brakes, man. You got to enjoy life.
I got to pump
Can't
those
take yourself
brakes.
seriously.
I know, man. I know. Well, see, here's what's happened in this business. This little thing called social media has really been exploding since the first part of this century. And you have to do it. It's a part of the biz, but it's basically another layer of the job. And I'm on all 4 platforms. So it really has turned into 2 and 3 hours of extra work every day. But what's good about it, it gives you really the deep dive as far as what's happening nationally, locally. You get a really good feeling of what's happening in the world of sports and what's happening in the world of news and weather-related situations and, social issues because you're constantly looking at that computer. Now, when I retire, believe me, it'll be lights out. I'll be off the radar. You will never see or hear me again. One thing about me, I'm either all in or I'm all out. And right now, I'm full throttle because this is what you need to do to engage your audience and also to promote what you're going to be doing when you get on the air. But, man, you know, I had a television crew of 10, 15 people. They did all the editing. I just had to talk and sit in front of a camera. But this, literally, I spent probably, I don't know, 10 hours over the last 2 days just filming and editing from the home studio. So, it didn't feel like time off at all.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Rob, you got to take a break, go on vacation, just sit on the beach.
Oh, that'd be nice. Well, believe me, I'm going to do plenty of that when I pull the plug. Trust me. I'm going to take a month at a time, and I got some friends in some very beautiful places, and I'm going to go become a beach bum. Straw hat, cut off, and tank top and flip-flops, and you won't hear or see from me ever again. Believe me, I will take your advice, I promise. Anyway, what's on your mind today?
Oh, real quick, the big, beautiful bill. I like to thank Rand Paul and I forgot the other Republican for really standing on principle. Look, the president came in this office. People voted for him. I didn't vote for Harris, saying that he was going to cut spending. This bill does not cut spending. It increases the deficit, which is unsustainable. And it's a direct assault on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. There's not enough illegals in the world to be kicked off those programs. You're talking about Americans are going to lose their health care. I never saw a president in my life ever do this. It's a betrayal. It's totally a betrayal. I mean, the guy's a snake oil salesman. And remember when he signed it, because it's the end of his presidency. Pretty much the Democrats are going to win the House, hands down. I mean, hopefully they don't screw it up, but you never know. Democrats could mess up a one-call funeral. But it's pretty much the end of his presidency. It's sad because it was unnecessary. It's downright mean, and every economist says it's going to benefit the very rich. You know, and it's just unconscionable, Rob. This is unconscionable. These are real people, real Americans that are going to be kicked out. And I just could not believe the mean-spiritedness around that bill. And this is why I keep on saying, when you do CRs, and this is not really a budget, this is what you get. I say the same thing with Biden. Biden came in there, what he did, he spent like crazy. And then we have another President Trump spending like crazy. It's just not sustainable, Rob. You know it. We're $37 trillion in debt. But this bill, 10 years later, is going to be $60 trillion. It's a huge betrayal. And we're giving money to people who really don't need it. They don't even want it. Like Elon Musk, he's a billionaire. Don't even want the money. I just don't understand it.
So, but why do you think he keeps winning like this then, Ted? I mean, he wins everything he has really put his hands on. He's won.
Well, two things. Because you don't have leadership in the Democrat Party and they're dysfunctional, okay? And the other, you're dealing with a bully, okay? You're dealing with an absolute bully. The reason why Rand Paul, and I have to admit, I'm becoming a big fan of his, when he called out that senator from Alaska, when what she did was downright cruel, but it's politics 101. She ended up carving out a deal for her constituents, so when those Medicaid and care cuts go through, it doesn't affect her state. She got a side deal. And when the media confronted her, she was so shocked that Rand Paul called her out, but that's what happens in politics. Okay? None of our senators can do anything like that. Fetterman didn't do anything. And like I said before, the other guy, McCormick, didn't do anything, especially him being a freshman. Those things, that's what you want your politicians to do. And plus, with Trump, he reminds me of LBJ. And I'll tell you why. LBJ always said, this is my Senate. Okay? Same thing with Trump. These guys don't work for Trump. They work for the American people. All right? And for some reason, you know, these guys think they work for Trump. All right? LBJ used to say the same thing, and it's downright cruel. Downright cruel. You work for the American people. You work for our country, not party. And both parties have just, like I said, been captured by the same system. We shouldn't be saying Democrat, Republican, blue states or red states. It's America first. Supposed to be. And we're not. And it's going to divide the country. And I'll be honest, you're going to see more protests. And he was, you know, he was asked to bring the country together. He's not doing it.
Well, I don't know, man. A lot of people feeling some patriotism on this 4th of July holiday weekend that we haven't felt in a long time. I don't know if it's a three-ring circus, it's fact, it's fiction, but it feels pretty good, man. I mean, and honestly, I don't, listen, if we help the country when people were running out of money during the pandemic, you actually think they're going to kick people out of their hospital situation, nursing home, assisted living? You think that's actually going to happen?
Rob, look what he did.
Okay. All right, but it hasn't happened yet. When I start hearing stories, then we'll have a different discussion. But that would be detrimental to the future of the Republican Party, because it won't be him. It'll be the Republican Party. And I don't think the young guard will stand for that, and they'll make him do something to alleviate that. He'll do something like they do with the government. Let's pass a law to, initiate X amount of dollars. He'll do the exact same thing with Medicaid. I'm telling you. Mark my word.
No, I don't see it. I just think it's the beginning of the end. The collapse is coming. I mean, any economist will tell you that. It's unsustainable, Rob. We're literally, think of your kids and your grandkids. They will not have a future. Absolutely not. They're going to have to change their whole lifestyle, because these programs, which a lot of Americans depend on, will not be there. Okay? Let's face the facts. It will not be there. Even if the Democrats win, to me, there's no way you can save it.
Well,
no way you can
listen,
save it.
My two sons are making double what I make, and they are with major companies. They have healthy 401k, great pensions. If they screw it up, shame on them. Now, my daughter just turned 23, so there's some work to be done there, and we got to get her in a good situation. But my boys are fine. Believe me, they could probably stroke a check when they turn 30 to pay for assisted living, because they weren't a knucklehead like their dad, giving money away like gumdrops to people who needed it. So I'm just saying, the generation that's coming up is a whole lot smarter, I think, than we were, Teddy.
Oh, they are. But also they're a whole lot meaner, man, because they know what
they fight for their money. They fight for their money. And that's why so many young people are backing this guy. I mean, I know. I know. I can't figure it out either, but there's just something going on. And if he really was doing as bad as you say and everyone says, how does he keep winning like this? What sector keeps pushing it across the finish line for him?
Well, like I said before, he's a great snake oil salesman. Okay? He gives with one hand, takes with the other. It's a great showman. It reminds me a little bit of Reagan.
All right, let me throw, and I got to get to a break here. Good stuff, though, Teddy. Let me throw out there, is he a snake oil salesman, or do you think he's just a savvy businessman who happens to be the president of the United States? Tell me why he keeps winning. I want to hear from you. There's got to be more than snake oil salesman. Something's going on. 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Honored to win the Marconi Award as the best news talk station in the country. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market, with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. Two teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Lennard Struff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a one-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com.
This is attorney Ed Shenderovich, and just like you, I love dogs. All breeds of dogs. Unfortunately, sometimes dogs attack people, causing serious injuries. At Shenderovich, and Fishman, we've represented many, many victims of dog attacks. And, as in all our cases that we handle, our fee is only 25%, not 40% like other firms. If you've been injured by a dog, call us at 888-98-TWINS. At Shenderovich, and Fishman, We've got your back, not your wallet.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also stop smoking with Mark Patrick. No matter how many times you tried to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Hilton Garden Inn in Cranberry Township and Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh and Greentree. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's keep it going. 866-391-1020. Here's Mike in Mount Lebanon. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hi, Rob. I hope you're doing well. You posed the question, what's so great about this guy that makes him tick? Rob, it's the ability to negotiate. The man can negotiate. In fact, he even wrote a book, The Art of a Negotiation. He has the ability to bring people together to try and make deals. Now, sometimes it's hard with people like Putin in Russia, but at least he's trying. And my second comment is regarding Medicaid. Now, in this beautiful bill, there's a work requirement, Rob. You know, if you're able-bodied, you should be sitting on a couch getting food stamps, SNAP benefits, and now if you have a disability, that's a different story. Absolutely, give these people the benefits. But if you're able-bodied, there's no reason why you should be getting social programs like this. Now, Joe Biden and the Democrats were good for that, bringing all these illegals onto their rolls just to acquire Democratic votes. That's the only reason why he did that, to put these people on Democratic rolls, okay? And that's all I got for you, Rob. You had a great day, Rob.
All right, Mike. Yeah, that book's The Art of the Deal. Let's go to Robert in Plum. Robert, good morning. You're on the air with your Pat Pack. How are you?
Hi, Rob. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
On there.
I'm okay.
I want to tell you, if anyone likes history, Ronald Reagan said the best. The Democrats flip out every time they want to raise the deficit. That is 40 years ago. We've been raising the deficit. The second thing is that I'm looking at this as a great win for businessmen. Businessmen in this country are what drives this country. The small businessman, he's able to get a tax break for a change instead of a tax raise on his business. This was all designed to help stimulate the economy, and it is stimulating the economy. Because I can tell you right now, there are more people out there spending money than ever before. The Amazon trucks are going crazy. If you look at how much money everyone's spending, it is outrageous. I mean, the supermarkets are filled. If you look at Harbor Freight, you look at any of the stores over there, they're jam-packed, Rob. I mean, the fireworks alone, the Phantom fireworks, you look at that parking lot, you couldn't even have gotten in there if you tried. You would have to walk at least 2 blocks away. That's how many people are there. I don't see any problems with what this man is doing. I mean, actually, he's not only winning, he's helped stimulating the economy. So I don't see anybody out there not wanting to spend money. I mean, we're spending money like it's going out of style here. And the other thing I want to just tell you is look around your neighborhoods. People are spending money like they've never seen before. I mean, I've never seen so many people out there spending money like crazy today. I mean, even though prices are high, people are still spending. There is nobody out there not spending. So I don't see any problem with what Trump did. Actually, I think he actually benefited the economy more than anybody out there. And I mean, 40 years ago, Ronald Reagan said the same speech. He said, Democrats always flip out whenever we raise the deficit. Always the same spiel. Oh, we're going to kick grandma and grandpa off welfare. Oh, you're going to not be able to get your Social Security. Same speech over and over again for 40 years. The American people are tired of the speech. The American people want action, and Trump has given them the action. I mean, whether you like him or not, you have to respect the man for what he's done. for the American people.
It's been nonstop. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
He told you he was going to be nonstop, Rob. He told the American people, you're going to elect me and you're going to win. We're going to win. And he's winning at all the steps. I mean, you got to remember is that this economy right now is on fire. Look at the stock market. We're at almost 50,000. When did you ever think the stock market would be up to 50,000, Rob? When? When did you think?
I didn't.
Never. No, you didn't. So that tells me if 50,000 is, that means people who have invested their money are making money. You look at the bank stocks, you look at the automobile stocks, you look at everything out there. If the economy's so bad, how come the stock market keeps on going up? I mean, you got to ask yourself. You look at any of the stocks out there. Holy heck, they're like jumping. You know what I mean? Within the past couple of weeks, ever since he did that deal with oil, stopping that war in the Middle East, the stock market has been on fire. I don't know. I mean, could you see anybody? You look at the bank stocks. Can you imagine a bank stock being over $200 a share? And there's several of them that are going to be over $200 a share. These are bank stocks, Rob. I mean, for those people who deal in the stock market, no one thought that this guy was going to do what he did. And basically, just because the illegals are going home, hey, you know what? That's more opportunities for the American people to step their game up. And look, even if you have to work 2 jobs, Rob, you're still making money. I mean, he's saying to you, become a businessman. That's the problem we have in this country. Nobody wants to become their own businessman. Everybody wants somebody else to do it. Somebody else go do it. I'll sit back and you just give me a check. No. That's what Trump said. No, I'm not doing that anymore. We're changing this economy. This economy is on fire right now. For those people who are out there working and want to become their own businessman, I encourage it to everyone to become a businessman out there.
All right, I got to get Rob. Got to get to a break. Excellent call. I hope you'll call again.
I will. Thank you.
All right. So you guys agree with this guy or not? Look, he laid it out there for you. Maybe even more so than I did. I mean, this guy, things are happening. The stock market is doing well, even when all this tariff stuff broke a month or so ago. Panic mode, people, including me, checking the 401k constantly. It's all worked out. Life is good. Why are we so fearful as far as what he is doing? He is actually a man of action, doing stuff that we need to have done in America. Is he winning or not? 866-391-1020. Great first hour. More calls to come in hour number 2. Reserve your space right now. And look, it's nice to be actually talking about our government, isn't it? We'll be back.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Joining us from New York, CBS's State Rosenbaum. And a lot of people assuming Combs would get convicted of something more serious.
Did not find that he was guilty of RICO charges, but did find that he was guilty of the Mann Act, which is anytime you're funding prostitution across state lines.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Summer's in Pittsburgh, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
After having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
And right now you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield and recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 66 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Police continue to investigate a shooting that occurred at the Swissvale station of the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway. That shooting happened Friday afternoon around 12:30. A bus driver was able to help the victim, who was shot in the torso. He was taken to the hospital, last reported in stable condition. Police have been reviewing surveillance video from the buses to see if that can help locate a suspect. State police are investigating after a Scottdale woman says she was conned out of $5,800 last month. Police say 22-year-old Caitlin Collins was at work at the Youngwood Dairy Queen when she received a call from someone claiming to be a state trooper, demanding she send the money right away for unpaid fines. Police have warned potential scam victims that they'll never ask for money for fines over the phone. Well, City Council on Tuesday is set to take up a measure involving sex workers in Pittsburgh. News Radio KDKA's David Ballarado says the sponsor of the legislation is not legalizing prostitution.
With her measure getting preliminary approval on Wednesday, Councilmember Barb Warwick says her call to amend the city code would not legalize prostitution.
I would love if we could legalize consensual sex work, but we cannot.
Councilman Anthony Coghill asked Warwick what this would mean for police. She says her amendment would lower the minimum penalty from a misdemeanor to a summary violation, saying larger penalties could still be pursued by police for repeat offenders. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
Congress gifted President Trump the One Big Beautiful Bill Act for the country's 249th birthday. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killing reports on what the new law includes.
It increases the child tax credit up to $2,200. It includes more spending for border security and the military. It also features popular proposals like no taxes on tips or overtime, although those provisions are temporary. It does make some deep cuts to food stamp programs like SNAP, as well as Medicaid by stipulating new work requirements. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projects that this will add roughly $3.4 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. And it's also worth pointing out that, of course, many of the tax provisions in this package are likely to take effect as soon as this year, although those changes to Medicaid and food assistance programs will be phased in over time.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson even gave the president the gavel used when the law passed the House of Representatives. KDK Radio News Time, it's almost 6:03. AccuWeather forecast next.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a hotter middle day of this holiday weekend with sunshine and a high of 90, followed by a clear sky tonight with a low of 69. It turns even hotter for tomorrow with sunshine and a high of 93, leading to a more humid Monday with more clouds around. Watch for afternoon showers and a thunderstorm, high 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
66 in Pittsburgh. I'm Rob Taylor. Next update, 6:30 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Rob Frax on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
One of the best things, my man, you convinced me in doing was getting that subscription for the new Pittsburgh Courier at my house. Juneteenth, front page headline. What a party it must have been. I'm always on the air, but one day when I retire, I may even put in for a day off. I want to get down there and kick up my heels a little bit. Man, that thing has become large in this great city, has it not?
Oh, yeah. Juneteenth in Pittsburgh, over 75,000 people came. And
how many?
Over 75,000 over the 4 days.
Okay.
Over the 4 days. So, and definitely that was the largest Juneteenth celebration, 4 days in the history of Pittsburgh. And, it even surprised me as a person who used to play Little League Baseball at Mellon Park for 4 years and just living near Mellon Park. It even surprised me how many people were actually able to fit in Mellon Park for the Juneteenth celebration for those 4 days. It showed me that Mellon Park is very, very wide if you don't know.
It's pretty cool stuff. Now, your other love is tennis. So Coco Gauff, after winning the French Open, is out, and I know you probably took that pretty hard. Madison Keys gets upset. Pegula gets upset. Sabalenka seems to be the odds-on favorite to win it all. As far as the men, Carlos Alcaraz survived a bit of a scare yesterday. But here's the thing that I noticed, and I've loved Wimbledon forever. There's not many Americans anymore. I'm not waking up with many Americans like moving on. Novak's still out there doing it at almost 40 years of age. You got this Shelton guy and a few others, but man, where are these American male tennis players at?
First of all, what's up with society? Usually, Wimbledon, the championship would be like right around the 4th of July, but we've got to wait a whole another week now. Yeah, but I just remember, I used to, get up and think, we all watch Pete Sampras and Jim Courier and
I think
Michael Chang.
It might be the 50th anniversary of Arthur Ashe winning at Wimbledon. I think he won it in '75. I could be wrong.
I'll check that.
Yeah, check that. But I love this Dick Enberg, Strawberries and Cream, and waking up and watching it on NBC early in the morning. From the time I was a kid, and you always had those few. We had some dominating players for a long time. McEnroe and Connors. It's been like forever.
How about this? You're right. 50 years ago to the day, July 5th, 1975, Arthur Ashe defeated Jimmy Connors, becoming the first black man to win the singles title at Wimbledon.
Got a blood transfusion and got AIDS and passed away. Obviously, the U.S. Open, Coco Gauff, Arthur Ashe Stadium. She said she's looking forward to getting back to playing some tennis on some hard surface, and obviously that's what the U.S. Open is all about. I love this whole thing, and it's a bucket list, and more people I know or people I admire from afar are making it a point to go to Wimbledon. It would be kind of cool to see that in person, though.
Yeah, it really would. The All England Club, and I don't know. I just would feel very royal going there.
But I did this for you. So tomorrow on this very show, on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. By the way, you can get the new Pittsburgh Courier at the Highwood Street location and also Beulah Road. But my advice, get it delivered to your home. I really look forward to it. But anyway, tomorrow after the noon news, former Pitt baseball coach who is now at IMG Academy, I'm going to have Joe Giordano on, and I'm just going to ask him, what's it take to be that good to actually end up playing just professional tennis, let alone ending up playing in a match that matters at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open or any of the Grand Slams? You realize how good you have to be?
I think people don't realize almost the robotic practicing that you do, the forehand, the backhand. I mean, even to get to that level at Wimbledon or U.S. Open, you have to have hit, I would say, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of forehands and backhands, and then not only that, but now you have to think about the mindset of the game. Do you want to come up and serve? Do you want to, serve and volley type of person? Are you a person who wants to stay back? What type of player are you? And, when it also, for Coco Gauff, one of the things that she struggles with is her second serve. So if you don't master your first serve, that means if you have a weak second serve, that opponent can always, hit it for a winner or get you off base. And that's if you go to the second serve.
There was a time in my life, and I don't do it now, but if there was a 4 or 4.5 hour match, I watched the whole thing back in the day. I mean, this was like must-see stuff. I mean, Wimbledon was even, in my opinion, more important to me than the U.S. Open. But here's the other thing, too. People talk about stamina and athletes, this and that. I don't think people realize, I've never done it. You played tennis, but imagine being out in the sweltering heat in like right at the peak of the day, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. It's 100 degrees in the shade. And you're in a 5-set match. I mean, imagine what kind of stamina that takes. And in some cases, you got to come back a day or two later. I mean, I don't think people realize this takes some physical stamina to play this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the French Open, you remember, was it Alcaraz? Yeah. He came back, he lost the first 2 sets and then came back and won the next 3 and won the French Open. And it was like a 5-hour match. So, yeah, you definitely have to have some stamina to play tennis.
Here's the other thing, too. Most of these tennis players peak before they're 30. Mm-hmm. But how is Novak Djokovic still playing, pushing 40? I mean, but I watched something, Graham Bensinger, who's an influencer, has got a really good thing and gets all these people. I don't know how he does it. He's a young guy, but I mean, he nails them all. But he talked about what he eats for a day. Mm-hmm. And he starts the morning off with lemon and warm water to kind of get the thing. And then he has like some sort of, I don't know, seaweed smoothie or something like that. I mean, it's like, and then you hear stories like LeBron James spending like $1 million a year on their body. I mean, that's, Jiminy, I got a huge treadmill.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about Djokovic and people like Federer. I don't think people realize, if you're just a casual tennis watcher, how much of a mental game is being played. Because a lot of those players like the Djokovic's and the Nadals, they've done it so long, they can almost make you play their game. So you think that they're just hitting back and forth during a point, but they're really setting you up to kind of get you thinking that they're going to hit it one side of the court. But throughout the match, people like the big time players get into the other players' heads, not knowing if it's going to be a drop shot, not knowing if it's going to be a forehand down the line or cross court. And what happens is other players, they get in their head, they can't figure out they try to start guessing where the ball is going to go. And when you're a big-time veteran like a Djokovic or a Federer, you can get in the other tennis player's head. When I played high school tennis at Central Catholic, I was getting in everybody's head. I was getting in Fox Chapel people's heads. I was getting in everybody. They had no idea where I was going to hit it, what was going on. I had them. It was just. Do
you realize? Listen, so I graduated from high school 50 years ago. So this was the summer of me waiting to see where I was going to go and what I was going to do. But do you realize how big that was for me to watch my man Arthur Ashe win this thing? I mean, that was massive. I think he even leaped over the net. I mean, that was one of the best days of my life. And I was like on cloud 9. And when he died, that just ripped me apart, man. I loved Arthur Ashe, man.
Yeah, and then of course the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York for the US
You got to go there sometime.
I think it's either going to be this year or next year. I'm going to get into that US Open.
So let me tell you, a friend of mine used to go there every year. So one year they brought me back a giant tennis ball. with all these signatures, and I had it until just not too long ago. I've never played tennis in my life. I've always found it fascinating, but I was always injured or something, ankle fusion, knee surgery, whenever I thought this would be the year. So has pickleball interest you at all for those who once played tennis?
You know what? People keep calling my phone saying, you were a big tennis player. You're gonna have the advantage in pickleball. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I probably will have an advantage because, you kind of hit it the same way a little bit, but you know me, I'm such a tennis enthusiast that it's really hard for me to want to get on the pickleball court. I know that's like the new thing.
Are there any tennis courts in the city, like at Shenley, or that you could actually go play tennis?
Yeah, Highland Park. There's
nice.
Right before you drive into Highland Park, there's like 10 or 11 tennis courts. They even have lights up there now. That's where a lot of people are playing tennis, that Highland Park area.
I love to watch tennis, man. I mean, especially people who you can tell who play it, man, and love it. And how lucky were we to watch the Williams sisters play in our lifetime? They were lights out. Serena, 120-mile-an-hour serve. She was just a pure beauty to watch.
And I remember their father, Richard, saying, well, wait, Serena is going to be even better than Venus. And I'm thinking...
Will Smith was great in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Great in that movie. All right, so who do you think wins this thing? Sabalenka is probably going to win the women's, don't you think? And Alcaraz.
Yeah, I think it's going to be those two. I don't think you're not going to see any real upsets.
Why is this pushed back a week? What happened? Because it was always 4th of July, right?
Yeah, it's probably... Might be the ESPN thing,
I think you should find some sound on that Arthur Ashe because that's a big deal.
I'm gonna look for some.
Yeah, I mean, CBS got to have something somewhere. I mean, that's and how I remember that is beyond me. But that's 50 years ago. That guy did more for tennis than maybe just about anybody and you can talk to John McEnroe or anybody. I'm sure they would agree. And that guy, Billie Jean King too. I mean, these two are icons. They're the reason why the game is where it's at today.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking to see if I find some audio here from, the very, very historic day, 50 years to the day.
Pretty cool stuff. Yep. All right, thanks, Rob. Let me get a break, and then we'll come back. Get to the phones on the other side.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. 2 teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Lennard Struff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a 1-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com.
The Shindig Charity Music Festival, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Union Brothers Brewing in Harmony. 18 bands over 3 days.
Proceeds benefit local first responders and Northwood Charitable Foundation. Car show Friday night, craft and vendor show Saturday, first responder demonstration Sunday.
Single-day tickets, weekender tickets, and weekender tickets for Keg and Eggs starting at 9:30 a.m.
Surprise guests, amazing raffle prizes, great food and brews. Bring your own lawn chair and a non-perishable food item donation.
Tickets also available at the door. Get your details at theshindigmusicfestival.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special, only $49.99. That's right. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd, Hilton Garden in Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Green Tree. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
If you're turning 65 this year, review your Medicare Part C options now. You need to know the difference between Advantage plans versus supplement plans. Contact locally owned and operated Need Part C today for a free consultation. That's Need Part C. Beat the annual enrollment rush. NeedPartC.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team as they discuss their favorite summer salad recipes. It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, let me throw a little fun out at you this morning, and I'll talk to Frank about this tomorrow in the Coons Cooking Hour. You know, Thanksgiving, you always talk about leftovers, right? Christmas, Hanukkah, you always think about leftovers, right? Kwanzaa, leftovers. I mean, there are certain meals that come with holidays. Easter, obviously. Ham sandwiches, right? So, is there anything really considered like 4th of July leftover? Can you reheat baked beans? Can you reheat a hot dog, you know, that's been in the refrigerator, a hamburger? Yeah, I guess you could do that. But what are some things that could actually be considered leftovers? If you think you have an idea, call me. I'm curious. I mean, what could be considered leftovers for the 4th of July? Because here it is. We had it yesterday, but let's face it. People have today and tomorrow. I know people that have Monday off. So you still have a lot of daylight to burn. And, you know, sometimes you just have this ability to, you want to overly buy because you just never know who's going to drop by, and you want to make sure everybody has a lot, and you get the red, white, and blue cupcakes and all the stuff that goes with it. So is there anything you can say that is positively a leftover for 4th of July? And I got to believe a lot of the snacks, right? A lot of the appetizers for sure. But, you know, and you get an abundance of, like, you know, refreshments as far as libations are concerned. So what would you consider leftovers? And I still think, honestly, when I look at any picnic, I think of three things, other than obviously the hamburgers and hot dogs. I think of beans, meaning baked beans, and potato salad, and macaroni salad. Those are the three things. And yeah, you can throw watermelon in there. I don't know, maybe it's me. I kind of like the watermelon with the seeds in it. And we got these whole seedless watermelons at Coons, and people love them. I mean, they just go crazy for them, and we've got them in abundance, and they're delicious, and they're ripe, they're juicy. But Frank and I talk all the time. I loved them when they had seeds in it. You'd sit on that redwood picnic table, and you could see, you would have like a contest on who could, spitui, if you will, that watermelon seed further than the person sitting next to you. But anyway, just curious, what would you consider to be a good leftover when it comes to a 4th of July picnic? Because one of the things that my parents, and especially my grandmother, my mom's mom, and I'm like that now too. I really like, if I head to the grocery store today after I get off work, before I go home and chill out the next couple of days, honestly, I do not overly buy. You know, I go through this like chicken phase and steak and hamburger, but I only buy enough for like 2 or 3 days, because I know, because of what I used to do back in the day when I had my kids growing up. I mean, I was at the grocery store 4 or 5 times a week, and it was like insane. So I really have to kind of stay within my lanes, because, you know, I do not like wasting food. That's one of the most just horrible things out there. But I guess and maybe some things you could kind of reinvent. You could maybe chop up those hot dogs. You could, throw some baked beans in there with it, have beans and weenies, which was a big deal back in the day. You could take some of that ground meat. You could chop it up. You could do tacos. So there's some things you could definitely do for sure. All right, now let's get back to the president, if we can, for a moment. I asked earlier, I said, is this guy really gold? I mean, why does he keep winning the way he does? And we had some people who disagree with me in the first, 90 minutes of the show, and I get that, and I totally agree. But you have every right to do that, but nobody still has answered other than one caller. We had one caller who laid it out and talked about the stock market, talked about how people are spending money over the 4th of July, cars backed up, a mile long to buy fireworks, all these little things that he is seeing, and the hiring and what people are getting as far as salaries are concerned. And nobody else has really explained to me. They just go after the negative because of who he is and his, bully pulpit, and how he can be a little braggadocious at times and a little conceited. And yeah, he feels as though he's the biggest dog on the front porch. But when you look at the track record, and the one guy kind of got a little loud saying to me this morning, well, he said he was going to do this. I wasn't disagreeing with the guy. I was simply agreeing. But Yeah, everybody says they're going to do things on a campaign trail, but do they actually do these things that they talk about? Do they actually do these things they talk about? Never. And I mean, you could say, being that he's only got the one term, that he basically went in there swinging for the fence. But honestly, I can't think of a president. I mean, even JFK went to Hyannisport and kicked back and set sail a little bit and walked on the beach with his kids and his wife. This guy, I've never seen him other than a golf outfit. He's in that Brooks Brothers suit with a red tie and white shirt. I mean, I've never seen him in a pair of khakis, sitting by a pool. Never. I've never seen him taking some sort of scenic tour. I mean, even the Bushes would go fishing once in a while. I mean, this guy never stops. And you have to really wonder, how does he do this? But if he really was a snake oil salesman, as Ted said earlier today, he must be really good at it. He must be really good at it because he gets things done and he delivers on what he says he's going to do. And to have the career that this guy has had in business and in entertainment and politics, he's a champ. I mean, the guy's a champ. And when you look at other situations, when that budget starts to come up, any level, the state, wherever you even live, it just becomes a negative connotation because it's going to be a struggle. And it's never going to get done, and it's just going to go on and on and on. But this guy, bing, bang, boom. I mean, even when it got through the Senate, the media, the House, it's not going to happen. All these different people in the House and Congress are saying, I'm going to vote no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to let this take. It's done. He told everybody, I'm not messing around. I want it by July 4th on my desk. And he did it on July 4th, and he tied it in, this budget, the future tax breaks to the working class people of America, saying this is your Independence Day, and here I am with paper and pen in hand, and I am going to prove to all of you, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. So why is this guy so successful? And the other thing, in this early stages of the Trump administration, the early stages, because we've got a long way to go. I mean, he's talking about 250. He's going to have a UFC fight with Dana White putting it together, going to bring 20 to 20,000 fans to the grounds of the White House. Now, do you realize the last president that had a combat sport, and it's kind of ironic how these little things pop up in your mind, on the grounds of the White House, was another guy who had a bully pulpit, Teddy Roosevelt. That's how long ago that was. And here in this world that we live in, this guy, once again, a great promoter. Like when he was having Mike Tyson fight in Atlantic City at the Taj Mahal. The guy is a promoter. He's not a snake oil salesman, but you know what? He wouldn't even care if you called him that because he's delivered on everything he said he was going to do. And I know he said he was going to do it on the campaign trail. But how many politicians have said, but they never accomplish? I just can't believe, he's hit it out of the park. Everything, he's not failed on one thing. I mean, you remember the first time travel ban right off the stage of the inauguration? Boom, they went after him. Why are they not going after him? Why are those Democrats like Pelosi and Schumer, why do they not have enough strength? Where is Bernie Sanders? Nobody can stop this guy. Nobody. I mean, this guy is doing exactly what he said he would do, but he's actually getting it done. So could somebody in this audience please explain to me, are you doing better in these first few months? Is your life more seamless? Do you feel as though you're in more control? And do you feel a sense of patriotism in this country that you haven't felt in a long time? I have. I'm just curious to hear what you have to say. All of our lines are open. Let's have some calls here. 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 66 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6:30. I'm Rob Taylor. It's just into the KDKA Radio Newsroom. Allegheny County Police are investigating after a 15-year-old was shot Friday night in Homestead. Happened at the intersection of 11th Avenue and Amity Street just before 11 o'clock. That teen was shot in the upper arm. Teen was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Police continue to investigate a shooting that occurred at the Swissville station at the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway. This happened Friday afternoon around 12:30. A bus driver helped that victim who was shot in the torso. It was taken to the hospital. Last reported in stable condition. Police have been reviewing surveillance video from the buses to see if that can help find a suspect. City Council is grappling with a decision on whether or not to spend close to $2 million for a public safety training facility. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
Council needs to let the federal government know by the middle of next year if it plans to use the former VA hospital site in Lincoln-Leamington as a new training center for fire, EMS, and police. And it's the last one that has raised the ire of some activists who liken it to a controversial police training facility being built in Atlanta, which critics have dubbed Cop City. Deputy Mayor Jake Pollack tells Council that's an inaccurate analogy.
I believe those concerns mostly reflect the previous vision for the site, which did include a relocation of police headquarters, the Special Deployment Division, the Zone 5 police station to the site alongside training facilities. All of those uses have been removed from this proposal.
Pollack told Council this week if the city doesn't come up with a master plan for the site by next June, the federal government could repossess it. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
6 people are in the hospital after a multi-vehicle accident on I-79 North. That's in South Strabane Township. The crash happened Friday afternoon. 5 of the victims were taken to UPMC Washington. The 6th was taken to a Pittsburgh trauma center. That accident shut down the highway for several hours. KDK Radio News Time is 6:32. The AccuWeather forecast next.
Ouch! Catch from behind. Man, that's gotta hurt.
I'd hire Morgan & Morgan if I were them.
What?
Yeah, Dan, America's largest injury law firm. They serve up justice, ice, cold, law. Know what I mean?
I guess.
Their gloves come off when they fight for you.
Okay.
I'm talking a settlement slapshot.
Shouldn't we be talking about the game?
Yeah, Dan, Morgan & Morgan. Proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Offices Pittsburgh.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune into the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors, Saturdays at 1. Beth talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Don't go into retirement unprepared. Listen every Saturday afternoon at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Firm offers insurance services. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For today, expect lots of sun and a hotter day with a high of 90. Then a clear sky tonight on the way to a low of 69. Tomorrow looks even hotter with sunshine, high 93, followed by a more humid Monday with more clouds, a couple of afternoon showers, even a thunderstorm, and a high of 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Yeah, listen, I don't care what you think about him personally. You have to admire the work ethic. I mean, come on. I mean, egotistical or not, whatever it is, he's out front. Have any of you spent that much time watching a president on the 4th of July in your lifetime? Even over the last 30 years with modern technology and life satellites and all the stuff that goes with it. No, you haven't. I mean, this guy made us feel as though we were a part of this White House picnic. I mean, you felt as though you could walk over and get a hamburger. I mean, that's just, it's uncanny. And for a guy who's 79 years old, how he understands technology like this, it's amazing to me. It's just amazing to me. 866-391-1020. Here's Stan, the man in McCandless. Good morning, Stan. Happy 4th weekend.
Well, happy 4th to you too, Rob, and hope you're having a good day. And listen, I got to tell you something. This guy, when Donald Trump says something, he's going to do something. When he was on the campaign trail talking about no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, he throws things out there sometimes, and you think he's just throwing things out into the wind. When he says he's going to go after Greenland, he's going to try to possess Greenland, and he's going to get Canada to come on board with America, you think he just throws this stuff out there, and you think he's just saying stuff. No, he says what he means, and he means what he says. And what we saw yesterday when he signed the big, beautiful bill, it fulfilled many of the campaign promises he made to America. Now, like him or not, like you said, a lot of people don't like him. But one thing he does, and I speak this to all and many of our Democratic supportees that call the program, he cares for you. Whether you know it or not, he does care for you. And he would protect you and your family just as much as he would someone like myself or others that support him. This president loves America, and he loves the American people. I said this back 6 years ago to you, and I'll tell you it again. This guy is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. Donald Trump, when he says something, I told you he's like E.F. Hutton. You better listen to what he says because he means what he says, and he says what he means. He loves America. He's going to do whatever he can to make this country prosperous once again. And here we come. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to go after fossil fuels. We're going to do it. Capitalism works. Socialism doesn't. Okay? He said these things he's going to do, what he's going to do on the campaign trail, and like I said, many of the things that he said came to fruition yesterday when he signed the big, beautiful bill. Yeah, I know Medicaid is problematic, but guess what, folks? He's going to work this out, too. He's going to revise this somehow. I don't think, and I think a gentleman touched on this a little while ago. He said, you know what, when you come into this country, you don't deserve to get Medicaid, okay? You have no right to think that we owe you something. We owe you nothing, okay? So you're able-bodied and you're able to work, go out and find a job and try to work. 80 hours a month is not too much to ask somebody to work if you want Medicaid, you want certain, health coverage, you've got to do something to put something into it. So I tell you that this guy, I love Donald Trump. He's the Energizer Bunny. And you're right. You touched on something. How does he find the inner strength to do what he does is just absolutely remarkable. For a guy that's 78 years old, it's amazing. So I love Donald Trump. I love a guy that just is a politician that says something and tells the truth.
Hey, Stan, can you imagine if he gets this war in Ukraine to end?
Yeah.
I mean, that's that right there. If that happens, that's the last shoe that people have to just admit, I was wrong. If you are one of those naysayers, if he can make that war stop, and you heard yesterday when he said, Putin called him and said, look, I can maybe help you with that situation in Iran. He said, no, I got it under control. I need you to stop this war in Ukraine. I mean, this guy is fearless. He says whatever's on his mind, whatever he thinks right for the American people. His speech in Idaho yesterday before 9 o'clock in the morning, long before he did all that stuff at the White House. I mean, honestly, it's mind-boggling to think that he has the ability to have so many moving parts and multitask and do what he does. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's going to take a Herculean type effort for him to get Putin to get some sense, because this guy, obviously, we know that Putin is a bad hombre. Okay, he's a former KGB guy. He's a former communistic supporter of things, communism. That's what he loves. I don't know how he's ever going to do it. I can't make a prediction, but I'll tell you one thing. You're right. If he ever did that.
It could happen. Listen, I'm not doubting this guy anymore. And I keep thinking, keep thinking things are going to go backwards or blow up, or everything's going to, the bottom's going to fall out. I was all in on this tariff thing, thinking here I am close to retirement. What's going to happen to my 401k? And I don't know. And I got to tell you what else is going to happen here. People that were kept working because they wanted to have Social Security kind of be their supplement. And then if you're going to still have to pay tax on that, because that goes into your lump of money as far as if you're still working and you're collecting already. But when you retire, you won't get taxed on this. This is going to force a lot of people to go into retirement. So I think because they're going to want to now, because they're going to feel comfortable, because they're not going to have to pay taxes when they retire. I think this is where he's going to make Medicaid work out for the Americans who've worked for it. I think it's a twofold situation, and I think he will, as I like to say, build that bridge. He's not going to let hardworking Americans who put all this time and effort into their job to miss out on Medicaid. And here's the other thing. I had a former congressman say it on my show the other night. He said it a dozen times over the last 48 hours. This is a tax cut for the middle class. This isn't a tax cut for billionaires. It's a tax cut for middle class.
See, and this is the lie they always tell us. This is only for the rich. This is the same dumb analysis they do all the time with this kind of stuff. They always present this and they say, well, he's only for the rich. He's not for the middle class. Give me a break. Come on.
That's who voted him in office. That's who voted him in office.
Exactly. And so when he makes promises like this, like I said, listen to what he says. He's for the middle class. He knows that, look, Donald Trump is a businessman. He's been a businessman all of his life, and I told you this, Rob, years ago. We need to have someone that is used to running big business, and he's run the biggest business anybody could ever imagine. He knows how to, like an octopus, put all his tentacles out there to kind of, he can be involved with several different things at the same time. The running the United States of America economy is like running a big business. This is not too big for him. He's been used to this. He's done this all of his life, and he wasn't rich on his daddy's pocketbook. Okay? He did it on his own. Have there been failures in his life? Yes. Have there been things that happened? Yes. Now, everybody hasn't been roses coming up and daisies coming up. There has been setbacks, but everybody suffers setbacks. But guess what? It's not when you fall. It's when you get up and you just do it again. You have to do it. But he's never been, in my opinion, a failure.
No.
Always, he knows business. He's been a businessman all of his life, and that's the kind. I can't stand it. For so many years, my wife and I, we were just disgusted the way our country was being run, embarrassing, Afghanistan, etc. I can go on and on about that, but it's just that finally we got someone in here that gave us what we wanted as a conservative.
Why do you think so many people, like in Hollywood, are against this guy? I mean, honestly, if I was, with all due respect to some of these folks who are in their 70s and 80s, and they've made their money, why would they just be so angry with this guy and attack this guy? Because you realize, here's the thing, the average person isn't even in the same category as these people who are complaining. They're just worried about paying their mortgage. I mean, that's the people he's working for. I just don't understand why there's such anger towards this guy from people who are set for life because of the entrepreneurial spirit, the exact same thing he did.
Well, you know what, Gary, what happens is in Hollywood is the same thing what's happening with the Jewish businessmen in America. I'll never understand why the Jewish people, Jewish businessmen, support the Democratic Party when Democrats never seem to be on their side. I mean, I never seen Democrats.
Whoa, wait. There's a lot of Democrats and Republicans that support the Jewish community. And those are the people that support people like Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump. So I don't see that. I see a lot of people of the Jewish faith who support this president and that prime minister because they're men of action. And I think that's what it comes down to. Stan, I think it comes down to being men of action. I got to get to a break. I appreciate the call. So you tell me, why is it that this guy has been so successful? You realize he's only been president since January, okay? February, March, April, May, June, July. So we're like a half a year plus, and the guy just wins day after day after day after day. And he speaks to the American people. He speaks to the people where they live. He's trying to ignite everything from this budget, this big, beautiful bill, this tariff situation, obviously some of these wars that are affecting the planet and the global economy. He's trying to get more business that we've been doing business with outside the country to come into our country and do business and hire American workers. I mean, his brain, does it ever rest? And again, if he stops this war in Ukraine, how can anybody really say anything other than he's a champ? I mean, this guy's the best and most productive president that we have seen in years. 866-391-1020. You agree or disagree? We'll take a break. We'll come back. Coming up after the news at 7, we're going to spend a couple of minutes with the mayor of that beautiful community of Elwood City, Tony Court. They got a big thing happening there today and tomorrow. Just want to give them a little PR shout out today, and we'll talk a few other things that have to do with government. That's just one segment, but in the meantime, open talk until 8. I'd love to hear from you today on KDKA.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. 2 teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Lennard Struff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a 1-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com. Jumpin' July specials at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Heinz Ketchup, 38-ounce bottles, $2.99 each. Whole seedless watermelons, $3.99 each. And fresh boneless chicken tenders are $2.99 a pound. Additional savings in our meat department. All natural pork baby back ribs, $3.49 a pound, and farm-raised fresh salmon steaks, $10.99 a pound. In our produce department, fresh southern sweet corn, $3.99 a dozen, and sweet northwest cherries are $1.99 a pound. In our deli department, steakhouse-style baked potato salad, $5.49 a pound, and old-time oven-roasted turkey breast is $8.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of Bush's baked beans, 21 to 28-ounce cans, 2 for $5.
So get in for all the great savings underway right now at one of your locally owned and independently operated Coons Markets. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Hey folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
If you're turning 65 this year, review your Medicare Part C options now. You need to know the difference between Advantage plans versus supplement plans. Contact locally owned and operated Need Part C today for a free consultation. That's Need Part C. Beat the annual enrollment rush. NeedPartC.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Yeah, so the last couple of days, while working out of the home studio in Monaca, was also on the road visiting some area communities just to kind of give them a little social media love and just to kind of get a feel of what's happening in rural America. Was in Midland last night. They've got 2 more days of their incredible celebration that goes on in their park, which is located right behind that Lincoln Park School of Performing Arts. And Elwood City, their big festival in Ewing Park. I was there also the other night, and we're going to have their mayor on in just a little bit. But what I have noticed about these 2 communities and the people that I've talked to, many of them are Trump supporters. Many of them believe in, giving tax breaks to the middle class, helping the entrepreneurial spirit. And the one thing that both of these communities have in common, and I really do this stuff because there's a purpose and a reason behind it. You can only talk to so many people on the radio. And I do it I was in Upper St. Clair recently, in Mount Lebanon. I've been in Bloomfield. I was on the north side. I get out to these Coons Market locations. I talk to people in the checkout aisle just to see what's happening. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of good happening in these smaller communities, especially these river communities. I mean, Ambridge, they got their big fireworks celebration tomorrow night. I'm not going to be able to make it there because I got to get a little R&R. But I'll tell you, they got an incredible mayor there. Rent check, mortgage, you name it. Every building on Main Street has got something going on. They continue to take giant steps forward as far as entrepreneurial spirits. They've got 2 breweries right smack dab on Merchant Street. A lot of industry coming there, a lot of shops, a lot of eateries. And these were towns that at one time many people thought were down and out. Midland, obviously, because of PA Cyber and Lincoln Park, they continue to revitalize and to grow and to do things. And I got to tell you, Elwood City has never skipped a beat. Listen, I remember going back 30 years ago when we would visit Elwood City with the radio to do certain things for Children's Hospital, or I'd be doing it a remote or something, or even at this Elwood City Festival, which I visited back in the early 2000s. Lawrence Avenue has always been pristine. they have one of the best main streets anywhere in this region. And their mayor, Tony Court, obviously has a lot to do with it, but he's only been there for so long. But they've had continued success. Why? When a lot of these communities, these mill communities, were disappearing and dying and things were going in the wrong direction, they decided to buy into what they had. They had an energy source. They had their own power plant. So they started selling off power to local communities, and they took that money and wisely reinvested it back into their community. That's why if you go to this festival today in Ewing Park, which I hadn't been in a long time, it is absolutely beautiful. And all roads getting there, and the families and the homes and the houses are pristine. It's incredible. And I'll just tell you, I see much more good. And as I was celebrating with this wonderful Schmidt family last night, my friend Nick Ravel, we were talking about U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel, talking about the history of ATI, which is located there on the old Crucible Mill site. There's a lot of good things happening in the ancillary jobs that are going to pop up because of what's going on with U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel. So if you folks can just hang in there and buy into some of the things this administration is doing and start to believe in America again and want to become productive again and getting out there and wanting to do things and to contribute and to take a job that'll lead to another job, and let our government worry about the people that have paid their debt to society by working 40 years, we can really get some good things happening again. And with the natural gas footprint kind of being the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae, if you just believe, there are some things that are going to happen, and we have to show it to young people because we need them to buy in more than ever before. All right, news coming up, and then we'll spend a little bit of time with the mayor of Elwood City, their big festival this weekend, Tony Court, and then we'll get back to some open talk until 8 o'clock. Your Pratt Pack, 4th of July weekend, KDKA, 100.1 FM, AM 1020.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Joining us from New York, CBS's Dave Rosenbaum. And a lot of people assuming Combs would get convicted of something more serious.
Did not find that he was guilty of RICO charges, but did find that he was guilty of the Mann Act, which is anytime you're funding prostitution across state lines.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Don't keep putting it off. Ignoring home repairs won't make them go away. If it's drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, or that dreaded leaking roof, PJ Fitzpatrick can take care of your home repair project right now and save you thousands of dollars before it turns into costly structural damage. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. They'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com. That's trustpj.com.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 66 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Allegheny County Police are investigating after a 15-year-old was shot Friday night in Homestead. It happened at the intersection of 11th Avenue and Amity Streets. Just before 11 o'clock, that teen was shot in the upper arm. Teen's expected to be okay. They're in stable condition at a local hospital. Allegheny County Police are asking anyone with information on any suspect descriptions to contact their tip line at 833 all tips. Police also investigating a shooting that occurred at the Swissvale bus station at the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway. Happened around 12:30 Friday afternoon. Bus driver was able to help the victim who was shot in the torso and take it to the hospital. That person was last reported to be in stable condition. Police have been reviewing surveillance video from the buses to see if that can help find a suspect. Well, Congress gifted President Trump the One Big Beautiful Bill for the country's 249th birthday. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian reports on what the new law includes.
It increases the child tax credit up to $2,200. It includes more spending for border security and the military. It also features popular proposals like no taxes on tips or overtime, although those provisions are temporary. It does make some deep cuts to food stamp programs like SNAP, as well as Medicaid by stipulating new work requirements. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projects that this will add roughly $3.4 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. And it's also worth pointing out that, of course, many of the tax provisions in this package are likely to take effect as soon as this year, although those changes to Medicaid and food assistance programs will be phased in over time.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson even gave the president the gavel used when the law passed the House of Representatives. Well, state police are investigating after a Scottsdale woman says she was conned out of $5,800 last month. Police say 22-year-old Caitlin Collins was at work at the Youngwood Dairy Queen when she received a call from someone claiming to be a state trooper demanding she send the money right away for unpaid fines. Police have warned potential scam victims that they will never ask for money for fines over the phone. KDK Radio News Time at 7:02 and our AccuWeather forecast, your AccuWeather forecast, coming up.
Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Bitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that, lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh at the PA Hypnosis Center. You have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Bitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your pre-consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome? You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a hotter middle day of this holiday weekend with sunshine and a high of 90, followed by a clear sky tonight with a low of 69. It turns even hotter for tomorrow with sunshine and a high of 93, leading to a more humid Monday with more clouds around. Watch for afternoon showers and a thunderstorm, high 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
KDKRadio.com. Click on KDK Watch. He's the Honorable Mayor of the city of Elwood City, Mr. Tony Court. So how has the festival started? And there's still 2 more days of a whole lot of fun and fireworks to come. How have the first day plus gone at Ewing Park, Mayor?
Good morning, Rob, and thank you for always putting Elwood City in the limelight. The first day yesterday, Rob, was tremendous. The weather cooperated. It was a full crowd there, people having a great time, people coming from other communities, even other states, sharing a good entertainment, great food. Yesterday was a huge success, and we look forward to the coming up in the next 2 days.
Yeah, listen.
Same kind of success.
The crowds have been literally in the thousands as this event through the years, and the pandemic slowed it down a little bit, but they're coming back full throttle this year. And you got the Jaggers, you got the Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute band. I mean, the food, the pepperoni puffs are legendary. But what amazes me is the beauty of Ewing Park. And I just want to talk about this for just a moment. I hadn't been there in over 20 years, and I was there with you and Nick Mancini the other night doing some social media stuff, and you guys were nice enough to spend a little of your money to advertise here on KDK, which we're grateful for. But for people who haven't been there, it's definitely worth the drive. But people who grew up there, they don't take it for granted. They really do everything humanly possible to keep it manicured, especially the homes around it. Talk about Ewing Park and that crown jewel that you have there in Elwood City.
Yes, that's a very good point, Rob. We're always moving forward here, especially with our Ewing Park. There's so many wonderful things in Ewing Park. We have ball fields, lighted ball fields, a swimming pool, tennis courts, pickleball, the shelters. It's full in the summer, completely full all the time. The shelters are rented out. It's just a jewel that we have here, and we got to keep maintaining that because people come from all walks of life, like I said, all different communities and even states, to spend time in Ewing Park, and it's a tribute down through the years that we've maintained it and keep moving forward in a positive area with our Ewing Park section of Elwood City.
Listen, you got a pool there, too, which a lot of communities, sadly, because of financial stress, are not able to do it. Talk about this pool that the YMCA and you have partnered up with. This place, I mean, is amazing. And then they've got this pool that is, I mean, it's second to none. I'd forgotten about that.
Yes, this pool has been here many years. It's well maintained. Like you said, we still own the facility, but we let the YMCA, the Beaver County YMCA, run the facility in the summertime. We pay them a small fee, and they maintain it, and they do an excellent job. And you would be surprised on any given day how many adults are at this swimming pool enjoying it. It's just beautifully kept, and it's been here many, many years. And we're going to keep doing that and moving in the right direction with this Ewing Park swimming pool.
By the way, my guest on the Metropolitan Window video screen, kdkradio.com, click on KDK, watch the mayor of Elwood City, Tony Court, the Elwood City Festival underway. Of course, day one yesterday and just getting cranked up for this day. And then, of course, wait through tomorrow, in which they'll have at Helling Stadium the fireworks coming up tomorrow night. Over 50 vendors, and most people understand these vendors are the best of the best. And they're going to only go where it's going to be a good deal for both sides. They're going to be able to do some business. I don't know of any festival that has that many vendors coming over a 3-day period. So you guys are absolutely loved by these vendors, are you not?
Yeah, we give them a lot of credit too, Rob, because they do an excellent job. We've had upwards of over 200 vendors at one time. I believe this weekend is over 100 vendors coming in here. They do a wonderful job for us. They're here. It's a give and take type sort of thing. You know, they do a great job for us and we do a great job for them down through the years. Like I said, we've had this festival here for 43 years. And a lot of it goes to the committees, the vendors, and all the wonderful people who patronize this beautiful festival down through the years.
Yeah, I was just talking about the food vendors, but then when you figure in all the craftspeople and what have you, it's hundreds. It's staggering to think. Here's the other thing. You have such a good police department. You have so many great volunteers. In these little communities, listen, these streets can get tight, cars on both sides. Somehow, some way, you guys make it work, do you not?
A lot of planning, a lot of initiative goes into this, Rob. It's just not something we throw together. Like I said, it takes the whole city to get behind this. It takes the traditions together with our police department working together for the common cause. And that's to make sure everybody has a safe and wonderful time while they're in our community.
Listen, I was so happy to get out there the other night. I won't be able to get back for the next 2 days, but obviously tonight's going to be big with the Jaggers, is it not?
We're expecting a big crowd again tonight. That's another thing that the committee has done, including Nick Mancini. They have brought in excellent talent throughout this festival and really upgraded again this year. Like you said, the Jaggers coming in tonight, that'll bring in a big crowd, and we're hoping everybody has a great time enjoying the festival with the Jaggers tonight.
Now, the other thing that I just want to talk about very quickly, you know, you mentioned Nick Mancini. He's just an incredible crown jewel in yourself. But let's face it, we're all kind of baby boomers. But the thing that I'm hoping for, because let's face it, it's all about my children and grandchildren, and I would love to see my kids and grandkids have a chance to be a part of this. Do you have some young people who are involved with this so this great thing can carry on just like it has because it was passed on to all of you?
We do. Gabby Gretsch has done a tremendous job leading the festival committee this year. She's put in so much time and effort into this, and I tip my cap to her because she has led this committee this year, and she is a young person. She's in her 30s, and she does a wonderful job, and, you know, God bless her because it's an all-year-round thing with this committee. Numerous meetings, and all the planning that goes into it. They have a lot of energy, a lot of great ideas. It just doesn't happen overnight, Rob. A lot goes into this, and I give a lot of credit to the committee for what they do. It's a thankless job sometimes, and they do a wonderful job for us, and I'm proud of them all.
Now, again, free, we're talking free, come and enjoy. But the other thing that I think this does for you, and this is why the business matrix is so important to me, it helps Lawrence Avenue. A lot of businesses really benefit from this too, right?
Exactly. Brings a lot of people into our community, like I said, Rob, from different communities, even different states coming in. And a lot of them are repeat people. They know that they plan their summer vacation because they're coming into Elwood City's festival, and they spend time and money here in our community. Again, it's not becoming complacent with these people, making sure everybody has a wonderful, safe time, and that's what we've accomplished.
Listen, before I let you go, the mayor of Elwood City, Tony Court, some business to discuss. You know, we had a chance the other night to get caught up about U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel. We're so excited about that. But really, another reason why you guys have been seamless as far as the business aspect of Elwood and Lawrence County is because of Elwood City Forge. Tell the audience about what they have meant to your community.
They've meant the world to us, Rob. They've been here many, many years. The Behrensfeld family, just a great place to work. They treat their employees wonderful. They make a nice, honest living here. Like I said, they're an icon in our community. I don't know where we'd be without the Elwood City Forge, believe me, because, like I said, they've done so much for our community, and they continue to do so much for our community. Just a godsend, and we're fortunate that we have the Elwood City Forge here in Elwood City.
Before I say goodbye to you, how much has it meant to you to have a chance to be the man in charge as far as working with a great team, but being mayor of Elwood City? What's that meant to you, Tony?
You know, Rob, it's meant a lot. I was born and raised here in Elwood City. I've been the mayor here 18 years. I never dreamt that I would be a mayor here, but it's something that I looked into a long time ago, and it's been nothing but success here. And I attribute that to the wonderful people we have, our rich traditions. And like I said, this is my 18th year. I just won another re-election, so it's going to be another 4 years, bringing the total to 22 years. And I'm proud to be the mayor of the city, and I'm proud of our city.
All right, Tony, listen, you have a great rest of your day. Have a wonderful festival, and hopefully we'll have a chance to get caught up again, okay?
Always a pleasure, Rob, and thank you so much for all you do for our community.
You bet. Love Elwood City. So, folks, Elwood City Festival, Day 2. Jagger's going to be there tonight. The place will be packed. But believe me, easy access, in and out. Have fun. Whether you're going there or any place this holiday weekend, just be safe. But the thing that I love, when I go to these places, I go not only to help promote, but I go to listen. And when I hear people that smile in their voice, and they just seem to be so thrilled about having a chance to do something that their grandparents did, and they now are taking their grandkids to this event. It's wonderful. And whether it's there or any of these places, I mean, Brentwood, it could be Midland, it could be Ambridge, it could be anywhere. It's just a wonderful, wonderful aspect about what this whole Independence Day holiday is about. It's about getting together and being one big family. In the United States, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of good happening in America for sure. We'll get back to some open talk on the other side. Your Pratt Pack today on KDKA. Good morning.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. 2 teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Lennard Struff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a one-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd, Hilton Garden in Pittsburgh, Granbury in Cranberry Township, or Thursday, July 24th, Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Green Tree. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar at 8.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
If your car has a broken piece of glass, bring your car to Ryan's Auto Glass. So quit your whining and crying. Call 1-800-GET-RYAN. Bring your car to Ryan'sAutoGlass.com.
You know, the other thing we haven't talked about today is what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. We've had so many things on the table today, and the big, beautiful bill obviously driving the majority of the conversation. But I don't know if you've been paying attention, but, you know, the president has gotten the attention of Vladimir Putin. They've been negotiating and talking back and forth about a number of issues. But Russia seems to be getting the upper hand here. And they've been using these drones, which I've said before is the modern form of warfare. And we are so fortunate that we have generations coming up who were on the Xbox and on the PlayStation for hours at a time. And maybe we're not going to be so upset that many of us parents let them basically utilize those games as a babysitter, gave us a chance to take care of some business around the house, run a few errands, and maybe even get some much-needed rest, because the skill set is second to none. And I think that's where warfare is headed. But the frightening thing is the president has said, you know, we're going to suspend sending military weapons to Ukraine because our stockpile is getting low in America. And we need to do something to start filling up those shelves again and get ready just in case. And you know what it reminded me of? If you know anything about history, after World War I, we basically didn't want to be in the business of war. We didn't want to even think about war. We wanted to turn away from it. We didn't want to, stockpile the military with people or equipment. And I get it. That was a vicious war, the war of all wars, as they called it, right? I mean, there were just tragedy after tragedy. But what happened when you get complacent? And I can understand why when World War II broke out, and no one ever thought it would be the same opponent, but it was, most of the military might had gone to the wayside, and the other stuff was antiquated. It was like literally tanks from, the 1900s, the start of the 20th century. We had nothing. And we obviously didn't have the military power when it came to our infantry and soldiers, and obviously those pilots that were necessary for the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines. It was all depleted. And we had to ramp it up immediately. So this is another reason. Of course, all of the mills in Pittsburgh were booming. The coal mines in West Virginia were booming because it was all in. FDR's like, we got to go, 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 go. And that's why the first couple of years of the war, we weren't doing as well as we would have hoped. And if it wasn't for the men who were left behind and the women who worked as hard, if not harder, maintaining everything to get the weapons where we needed to have the supply that could actually fit and fill the bill, we may have lost that war. So what the president is trying to say, it's the old adage, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I've said this before, when we were actually contracting companies overseas to build tanks for us, I thought, this is insane. So what the president is saying, I think he's also using that, this is my humble opinion, as he's been pushing on Vladimir Putin to negotiate. I think he's trying to make Vladimir Zelensky understand, look, we just can't, with an open checkbook, continue to help you. You got to try to push for some sort of ceasefire. And I think what the president is trying to do here, even though I say Russia cannot win this war, I think he is actually trying to let Russia and the Ukraine save face and have this thing absolutely come to an end and everybody just walk away. But you see, the scary thing is, I think Putin realizes if this thing does come to a halt And somehow West media, meaning people from the West who are journalists from this part of the world, find a way to infiltrate the Russian people and get the word out. And a lot of family members live in Ukraine. They start conversing again. People start finding out what this thing was really all about. It was a cash grab for the resources such as natural gas and agriculture in the Black Sea ports, because he wanted to put, a noose around the economy of other places in the world and pulling back the reins when it comes to supplying people with food, like the UK. I think the Russian people may actually turn on him. It would not be the first time that the Russian people have turned on the person running Russia. As a matter of fact, the only Russian president that has ever left Russia and that office of presidency/dictator upright was Mikhail Gorbachev, the same man that the people revered. But even Vladimir Putin did not go to his funeral. So I'm saying I think Vladimir Putin, as much as the president wants them to come to some sort of peaceful peace agreement so everybody can kind of go back to their country and start over again, I think Putin needs to fight on, because I don't think he has the power that he has now once the truth gets out and people start to realize what he is doing. But here's the other thing that's happening, and I saw this very early this morning when I got up at about 2 a.m. One of the first stories I saw, CBS was covering it. Putin's using chemical weapons again. I mean, here's a guy that is trying to finish it quickly, I think, because of the drones that continue to be stepped up, and they continue to more do damage, and they're getting deeper and deeper into the Ukraine, places that they couldn't even get towards earlier. And I'm starting to wonder if they are getting the upper hand, that he feels now I've got to go in and finish this thing before this president gets in my way. Because here's the thing, and I don't know how you feel about this, but if Putin ends up getting Ukraine, goodness gracious, that's not good. That is not good. That could trigger World War III. And when you see people like Iran, who Putin is friendly with, why wouldn't they help him with cash supply and oil? One of the things that stalled out many military maneuvers in some of the greatest battles of all time was the lack of supplies, mainly fuel, gasoline. So what could happen if Iran says, okay, you did that to us, you want us to stop building a nuclear weapon? Well, there's someone that could help us build a nuclear weapon if we help them. So what does Iran do? They're rich supply as far as oil. They start shipping it off in mass quantities to Russia. Russia has all the fuel they need. They not only have the drones doing what they're doing, the chemical warfare, now they've replenished their soldiers, and just like they did when they had 120,000 on the border, they come steamrolling into the Ukraine, and with endless resources and deep pockets and being able to resupply their military, when Ukraine now in the United States not even sending weapons to them, what could happen here? This is another reason why, even though you don't want to feel patriotic, you better feel patriotic. And even though you're not so sure this big, beautiful bill is going to work, you better hope it does. And even if you're not so sure that the tariff pause, which is going to be over by July 9th, doesn't work, and we don't start negotiating better deals to where we start making money more times than not, we could be in a very serious fight sooner than later. And the one thing that I can tell all of you now this morning, if we do break out into a fight, we have to be one. The United States of America, Democrats, Republicans, have to come together. And young people have to believe in that flag and believe in patriotism. Because on the verge of all of this, going into our 250th birthday next year, and hopefully moving forward, could be the future hanging in the balance for the United States. That's how quickly this thing could turn upside down. 866-391-1020. We've got some lines available and 2 more segments of Open Talk. It's your Pratt Pack for the 4th of July holiday weekend. Good morning.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
If you're turning 65 this year, review your Medicare Part C options now. You need to know the difference between Advantage plans versus supplement plans. Contact locally owned and operated Need Part C today for a free consultation. That's Need Part C. Beat the annual enrollment rush. NeedPartC.com.
This is Ryan Schlabel with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. We've been saving people time, money, and stress for over a decade. You don't have to list with an agent, make any repairs, or have a long closing process. Just call 412-500-9057 for a good fit, come to the house, make you a cash offer on the spot. My team will handle the rest. Dealing with a complicated situation? No problem. Call 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com for a cash offer today.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much angst and anger these days that, you know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com.
Get Marty is presented by Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Levin Furniture, UPMC Health System, CNS Construction, John Keefe Restaurant Group of Oakmont, and by Robert Pierce and Associates. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 67 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. One person was taken to the hospital after an overnight fire in Swissvale. This fire happened at a home on Ellesmere Street. Right now, the cause of the fire is under investigation. No word on the condition of the person who was taken to the hospital as a result of that fire. In a Homestead, Allegheny County police are investigating after a 15-year-old was shot in the upper arm. That happened Friday night around 11 o'clock at 11th Avenue and Amity Street. A teen was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Well, City Council on Tuesday is set to take up a measure involving sex workers in Pittsburgh. News Radio KDK's David Valorado tells us the sponsor of the legislation says it is not legalizing prostitution.
With her measure getting preliminary approval on Wednesday, Councilmember Barb Warwick says her call to amend the city code would not legalize prostitution.
I would love if we could legalize consensual sex work, but we cannot.
Councilman Anthony Coghill asked Warwick what this would mean for police. She says her amendment would lower the minimum penalty from a misdemeanor to a summary violation, saying larger penalties could still be pursued by police for repeat offenders. David Valorado, News Radio, KDKA.
How much money would it take for you to feel financially secure? CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace has the results of a new survey.
Half of the Americans polled by Bankrate say they would need to earn at least $100,000 a year to live comfortably. A quarter say they need $150,000. But Bankrate economic analyst Sarah Foster has news for them.
$150K would be considered middle income in 137 metropolitan areas and 23 states.
1 in 4 workers making at least $100,000 say they're barely getting by.
It's easy to feel like they live paycheck to paycheck if they're covering childcare, healthcare, education, maybe their own student loan debt and housing.
The median U.S. income is just over $60,000. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
KDK Radio News Time, 7:32. The AccuWeather forecast on the way.
Jumpin' July specials at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Heinz Ketchup, 38-ounce bottles, $2.99 each. Whole seedless watermelons, $3.99 each. And fresh boneless chicken tenders are $2.99 a pound. Additional savings in our meat department. All-natural pork baby back ribs, $3.49 a pound. And farm-raised fresh salmon steaks, $10.99 a pound. In our produce department, fresh southern sweet corn, $3.99 a dozen. And sweet Northwest cherries are $1.99 a pound. In our deli department, steakhouse-style baked potato salad, $5.49 a pound. And old-time oven-roasted turkey breast is $8.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of Bush's baked beans, 21 to 28-ounce cans, 2 for $5.
So get in for all the great savings underway right now at one of your locally owned and independently operated Coons Markets. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome? You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For today, expect lots of sun and a hotter day with a high of 90, then a clear sky tonight on the way to a low of 69. Tomorrow looks even hotter with sunshine, high 93, followed by a more humid Monday with more clouds, a couple of afternoon showers, even a thunderstorm, and a high of 88. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
So I think that monologue woke up the troops, and everybody wants to jump in and talk to your Pratt Pack, and I absolutely am grateful for that. So do have a line available if you want to get in here in the home stretch of Open Talk. We'll do a little bit more tomorrow morning for you, and then back on our weeknight show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about the big, beautiful bill and the budget in Pennsylvania. We've got State Senator Devlin Robinson. We've got State Senator Jay Costa. We've got State Senator Kim Ward. So going to be a great week next week here on the radio. Let's go to Joe in Sharpsburg. Hey, Joe, welcome to KDKA. Good morning.
Hey, Rob, good morning. Rob, I always appreciate your patriotism and, how you want to get everybody together. But I think we're going through a period here where you had just mentioned as far as this war in Ukraine that the Democrats and the Republicans have to get together. I think that's a little off because right now it would be the Democrats with Trump. The Republicans have no say in what goes on any longer. As you can see by everything, when Trump wants to do something, that's what they do. So the Democrats can't work with Trump because, as he said yesterday, he hates them. And I know people are saying he was sarcastic, just like he's sarcastic about everything else, which he really means. It's not going to happen. Also, as far as praising Trump, he got this bill through. I give him credit. We know he twisted arms, but that's the way he does business. But people seem to be forgetting a few things about Donald Trump. January 6th, giving away Afghanistan, and something called COVID. Nobody ever brings up COVID. He was the president when that came into this country. He is the one that said it's like the flu, it's going to go away. His son-in-law said it's going to go away by Easter when they knew how deadly this was. These are the black marks on him, and nobody talks about it. But as far as getting things done, he uses the hammer, and he gets them done, much to the dismay of Democrats and Republicans. But like I said, your patriotism is number one. I wish everybody would think like you.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. Good stuff, Joe. Let me ask you. That pandemic obviously rolled into the Biden administration. And I think both of them, once they got their feet on the ground, they did a good job with it. But don't you think it's time, though, that now that this big, beautiful bill is done, we at least try to embrace it and see where we go? But he may use the hammer. He may use brute force, verbally, emotionally, however you want to describe it. But why do you think so many things he wants to get done he's been able to do, and he hasn't had any pushback from the Democrats? That's why I'm thinking, if you're a Democrat, do you really want people who've really done a lot for this country, but maybe their time has come and gone? Schumer and Pelosi, they don't seem to have the same clout. Bernie Sanders, they don't seem to have the same clout with this guy this time around.
Well, see, that premise is also a little off. There's been much pushback, constant pushback. They've tried to get the word out there what this bill really contains from their point of view, actually. And everybody, CBO, whatever, all these people, how they score things, what it's going to do to certain hospitals, we're not going to know right now what's going to happen. But even our governor, who people like, people don't like, we're going to end up, if this thing goes through, we're going to minus money going into, food, SNAP. Somebody's got to fill that in, and it's going to be the taxpayers in Pennsylvania. So what he's done with this bill is he's getting rid of money going into these programs. He's pushing it back onto the states. He's saying your taxes are getting lower, but they're going to have to raise taxes. See, these are the things that we're going to see. I will say we're going to see it. Some will say, nah, that's just you don't like Trump. No, it's the whole system. This thing should have been talked about further. This deadline of July 4th, we all know what that was. Another ego satisfier, just like that parade they had. This is the problem. He wants to be a ruler, not a president.
So let me ask you, where did things start to go in the wrong direction for this country? I've had my thoughts. What about you? I mean, because look, this didn't happen overnight. $37 trillion in debt in 30 years. Come on now, this has been going on for a while, and you think, and I'll say it again, that we would have said $1 trillion. We better figure this thing out. So where do we start going wrong? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I will go back to after 9/11, we all came together.
We did.
But then as a few years went on, our economy started going bad, and that's when everybody started fighting. Republicans were out, Obama was in. The Republicans didn't like Obama. I think it started right in that time period, 2006, 2008, and then actually the hate from both sides just kept growing. And we're here today, but nobody seems to have any idea when or if we can go back.
So let me ask you this then, but at least we see some action taking place as opposed to each party arguing with each other and nothing getting done. We've done nothing but done that literally for a half a century. Wouldn't you say at least good, bad, or indifferent, we at least see movement from this administration?
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. Being from my political viewpoint, we're seeing movement. But this movement we're seeing with this big, whatever it is, bill, they call it all kind of names. Just call it a bill. We're not going to see results for a while. So both sides right now are going to argue back and forth how good it is, how bad it is. I think they should have taken longer. But I think the Trump people were afraid that more and more people would get involved, know what's in it. Well, let's put it this way. Americans are dumb. They don't pay attention. And this is a good week at...
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, and when they should be paying attention, especially something like this, they just have those certain words that jump out like Medicaid and Social Security, and people push the panic button as opposed to doing the deep dive. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Right. Just like on the other side, your taxes are going to get lowered. Everybody's going to see $1,800 more in income. Well, you may, but where's it come out the other side? We all know that when it comes in, it goes out. And, we'll see what they do in Pennsylvania. We'll see what happens with rural hospitals. If these things start getting cut, people will wake up in those areas. But some areas, they won't care. If you got the money, you're just worried about how much more in taxes you'd have to pay.
Well, one thing is for sure.
Rob, thanks for your patriotism.
All right.
A lot of people think it's hokey, but it isn't.
No, it's real. It's who I am. It's what I've always been like. I believe in this country because it's about, the gifts that I have because of this country, and I want my children to be able to have the same thing. And look, when I talk prosperity locally and business, I only want my children who love this area to have an opportunity to say, I can stay here. Because I grew up in an era, because of the steel industry, the airline industry, I lost a lot of friends who had to literally pick up and leave in their early 20s and have never been able to come back here and have missed out on so much. And the thing they tell me when I run into them or I hear from them, how much I miss so-and-so or how much I miss that time of year. No matter what people say, I don't care if you're the richest person on the planet, if you have to move away from your home and live somewhere else the majority of your adult life, you never lose that homesickness. Everybody should have an opportunity. If they want to move, fine, but they should at least have opportunity to stay where they were born and raised because of prosperity. This country has too many gifts, too many resources for us to be struggling the way we are, and there is no reason on God's green earth, Joe, that we need to be $37 trillion in debt. That's ridiculous.
Hey, Rob, one more thing I'd like to add.
Yeah.
I think KDKA should change the name to Saturday to Pratterday. You should be there all 24 hours.
Well, listen, my man, I appreciate you. I hope you'll call again real soon.
Thank you. See ya.
All right. Listen, I'm going to get to George and Clareton on the other side. Look, I just care about people. I really do. I mean, that's why I'm still doing this. I don't need to be doing this. You know, I really just like helping people. I don't need to be going out and doing stuff with social media. I don't need to be doing that stuff from my house during the day. I really just want to help people because we're in this together. Listen, I don't know about you, but this is the first time I felt this patriotic on a 4th of July weekend in a long time. It does go back to when George W. Bush was doing what he was doing. And I don't think the country has ever been that patriotic, maybe since, World War II. But we cannot take our eyes off the prize, which is not just what we do militarily, but what we do financially, emotionally, mentally. The economy is everything. Healthcare is a challenge right now, but guess what? We still have the greatest healthcare in the country. And I know this guy. It's that shock and awe to get people to realize or to come back to the bargaining table. But I do not think people are going to be kicked out of facilities. I don't believe that. And I hope that it doesn't happen. But I know one thing. We can't keep spending the way we've been spending in America. 1996 balanced budget. That's just a little less than 30 years, right? 2025. Next year, 30 years, we're $37 trillion in debt. The madness has to stop. 866-391-1020. George, you're next with your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio. KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Cal Raleigh homer twice for Seattle. They beat the Bucks 6-0. 2 teams again tonight. 10-10 airtime here to 93.7 The Fan. Joey Chestnut wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He consumed 70.5 hot dogs, while Mika Sudo won the women's title. Wimbledon yesterday, July 4th, saw Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, overcome a strong challenge from Jan Lennard Struff on center court to secure a 4-set victory. Meanwhile, top seed Arena Sabalenka faced a spirited Emma Raducanu in a packed center court, ultimately prevailing in straight sets after a closely contested first set. Also a notable upset, Australian Open winner Madison Keys was defeated in straight sets. John Deere Classic through 2 rounds, Doug Gim, 12 under, good for a 1-shot lead, and the Riverhounds got a lone goal from Robbie Mertz, and they defeated Mexico United 1-0. And NASCAR goes for the checkered flag tomorrow this holiday weekend in Chicago. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
Oh my, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Hilton Garden in Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. And Thursday, July 24th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park, highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
All right, here he is from that great community of Clairton, Pennsylvania. Here's George. George, happy 4th weekend. Good morning. You're with your Pratt Pack. How are you?
All right, my man. Same to you. I'm live and local and a little loco. And guess what's in my rearview mirror here?
What's
U.S. Steel Clairton Works.
There you go, baby.
We can call it what we want. You know, that Joe, that man was just on. I don't know if I ever heard him before. That was a fantastic call. I like how he broke down the past couple decades. This has been one crazy millennium.
Before you get going here, I'm going to give you all the time you need, but I haven't talked to you since. What's the vibe like in Clairton?
It's not. I swear to God, I go to Speedway every morning, or almost, and or I'm out on 51, because, you know, I work out that way. But people are not talking. I think everyone with everything is just so tired of promises. They want to see it. It's like we're living in Missouri. This is the show me area, show me counties here. That's where we are.
They should be doing cartwheels about this deal, about this U.S. Steel in the pond. They should be doing cartwheels in Clairton. They have no idea. I'm sure they do.
If they want to work here, they better make sure they can pass a drug test, and they better make sure a lot of the prelims they can handle, because every job anymore, including what I do, you got to be able to do those things.
Well, yeah,
and that's a big limiter right there.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody with any kind of logic should know that. But anyway, what else is on your mind?
Talk about logic. What did he just say? We are not the brightest country in the world. I have always believed that. Okay, I was going to say, when did I experience patriotism? And we're about the same age. I do remember the 4th of July of '91, and that Greenwood, that something Greenwood song, I'm proud to be an American.
Lee Greenwood.
Yeah, Lee Greenwood, 91. And I just remember I was living up in the hill in Clairton. My girls were very young. And that whole ball field, 4 or 5 yards, where I used to walk my dogs every morning for school and work, and everyone was partying out there for the 4th and just cleaning up after. And we also took a ride up Mount Pleasant. And I just remember a beautiful parade up there, and that was a great time. That was right after the Desert Storm, and then previous was Desert Shield. That was a quick thing. Now, that was where we started to unravel, though, 91, unfortunately. That's another part of our legs on our dog, how we started to unravel. The gentleman Joe gave us 2006 or whatever on. I would say in the 90s, and I was surprised, George H. Bush, right, Herbert Bush, and when he came in and he did what he did, and I was not a Reaganite person whatsoever. But I always said he had a calming effect on me. But after the war and the oil shock, we never heard that term anymore, that really reared its ugly head again in 1991. And it seemed like it started shutting things down, always on our borders of our country, not necessarily right here. And that was his undoing. Everyone complained about the economy. I don't know, maybe I was psyched up. I was almost done with school. I was working nights. I was commuting to California College in a day. And but they said the economy was on a slide, and that's how Slick Willie kind of slipped in. And P. Rowe, he had a few things to do with that too. He took a lot of George H.'s votes, But around then, we did have a balanced budget. We didn't have a war. People said maybe we should have did something when that trade center was attacked around 93 or 4 in New York. At that time under Clinton, I don't know. Now, we started also derail. These wars usually cost money. We don't make money off of wars like we once did. When we got involved in the 90s, we were involved in it. But we got into the former Yugoslavia and really bombed our former allies, the Serbs, in 98. Without, I think it was us and NATO, without the UN sanction. That started a lot of just disgruntling, and it started a lot of money waste. And then when did we go into Iraq? Well, we were in Iraq in 91, and we went back in under the second Bush. That's right. So go back into the 80s. We started slipping naturally. I say Reaganomics. People can say what they want. That was September of 81 when all the industry was getting laid off. And or 4 days and then laid off. Most of us, steel workers and miners too, were laid off by January. By Martin Luther King Day, I know that was on every claim. What was your last day work? January 15th, 1982. And that went on for years. And you talk about ancillary jobs. They dried up. Stiller Nation spread everywhere because people had to move. And I was one of them. I know what it's like to have to move. And that's a horrible feeling for your parents, too, knowing your kid has to move, like you can't provide for them, even though we were in our early 20s. And it was good to do that. But I longed to come back, and I did. And that's when I went back to school, and eventually taught and all those things. But there were a few times in our lifetime that we started to slip societally. Vietnam, that really came about in the 50s. My dad was in Korea. Where's Colonel so-and-so? Oh, he's down French Indochina. That's what they called Vietnam. Then they didn't say Nam or Nam. They just called it French Indochina while they were into Korea.
And that's why now more than ever, we have to at least let this thing play itself out. Everything that's happening, a lot of similarities. At the end, when John Kennedy was assassinated, we rolled into that police action that became a conflict that turned into an all-out war that went into well beyond the years that we thought it would last. And Lyndon Johnson, exhausted, decided to step away. You had Nixon come in, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King tragically killed. You had Watergate. And then, of course, we lost the industry that is manufacturing. And there has been no middle class ever since. So we have a chance to reset. I think that's what the president's trying to do. And let's try to buy in and let's work together and let's see where this thing goes. George, good stuff. Happy holiday weekend. All right, great first 3 hours of the program, but we're far from done. We got Secure Money Advisors on the money coming up, best of edition for the holiday. 9 o'clock, MediConnect, the guys from True Value. More on Andy's Big tent sale underway, day 2 at EV True Value in Bethel Park. And then Kristen Zapp will join us today. We're going to be talking Kennywood, Sandcastle, all sorts of incredible things. AAA Central's Talking Travel. And then Lynn Hayes Freeland, Minority Health Matters. All today with your Pratt Pack KDKA. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Joining us from New York, CBS's Thane Rosenbaum. And a lot of people assuming Combs would get convicted of something more serious.
Did not find that he was guilty of RICO charges, but did find that he was guilty of the Mann Act, which is anytime you're funding prostitution across state lines.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Grab the girls and raise a glass or a whole mimosa flight. Burned by Rocky Patel is turning brunch all the way up with mimosas after morning, happening Saturday, July 20th from noon to 3 p.m. on the North Shore. Think bubbly mimosas, a featured cigar, custom brunch bites, a live DJ, photo booth fun, and 20% off RP cigars and Java sticks. Tickets are $35 in-house or $45 on Eventbrite, and they're going fast. Lock it in at PGH reservation at burnedbyrockypatel.com. This isn't your average brunch. It's Burn.
Hi, it's Lynn Hayes Freeland. It's a big summer for AARP Pennsylvania and for Social Security. This year marks the 90th anniversary of the program, and AARP is celebrating in a fun and delicious way. Joining us today is AARP volunteer Cheryl Lenhart to tell us about the Get the Scoop on Social Security Ice Cream Social Series happening around Pittsburgh. Thanks for being here, Cheryl.
Thanks for having me. We're excited to invite folks to join us this summer for free ice cream and important conversations. At our Get the Scoop on Social Security events, you can enjoy a complimentary single scoop of your favorite flavor of ice cream and learn how AARP is fighting to protect and strengthen Social Security, a program Americans have earned through a lifetime of hard work.
Now, you know, Cheryl, I have a sweet tooth, so this sounds like a sweet way to stay informed. How can folks join in for these exciting events?
We will be hosting 3 events in the greater Pittsburgh region. The first is Wednesday, July 9th from 4 to 7 at Millie's Homemade Ice Cream in Bridgeville. The second is Thursday, July 17th from 4 to 7 at Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams in Bakery Square. And the third is Wednesday, August 6th from 5 to 7 at Brewster's Real Ice Cream in Seven Fields, Cranberry. Just remember, ice cream is served while supplies last, and advance registration is required at aarp.org/local.
I wonder if I can get my favorite chocolate chip cookie dough. Don't miss your chance to cool down and get the scoop on your benefits. Thanks for stopping by.
Sure thing.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 69 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. One person was taken to the hospital following a fire that occurred overnight in Swissvale. Fire happened at a home on Ellesmere Street. No word on the condition of the person who was taken to the hospital, and right now the cause of that fire is under investigation. Allegheny County Police are investigating after a 15-year-old boy was shot Friday night in Homestead. Happened at the intersection of 11th Avenue and Amity Street just before 11 p.m. A teen was shot in the upper arm. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Well, police continue to investigate a shooting that occurred at the Swissvale bus station, the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway. This happened around 12:30 on Friday afternoon. A bus driver helped the victim who was shot in the torso and was taken to the hospital. Last reported in stable condition. Police have been reviewing surveillance video from the buses to see if that can help locate a suspect. Well, 6 people were in the hospital after a multi-vehicle accident on I-79 North in South Strabane Township. A crash happened Friday afternoon. 5 of the victims were taken to UPMC Washington. 6th was taken to a Pittsburgh trauma center. The accident shut down the highway for several hours. Well, City Council is grappling with a decision on whether or not to spend close to $2 million for a public safety training facility. Here's News Radio KDKA's David Ballarado.
Council needs to let the federal government know by the middle of next year if it plans to use the former VA hospital site in Lincoln-Leamington as a new training center for fire, EMS, and police. And it's the last one that has raised the ire of some activists who liken it to a controversial police training facility being built in Atlanta, which critics have dubbed Cop City. Deputy Mayor Jake Pollack tells Council that's an inaccurate analogy.
I believe those concerns mostly reflect the previous vision for the site, which did include a relocation of police headquarters, the Special Deployment Division, the Zone 5 police station to the site alongside training facilities. All of those uses have been removed from this proposal.
Pollack told Council this week if the city doesn't come up with a master plan for the site by next June, the federal government could repossess it. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
KDKA Radio News Time is 8:02. The AccuWeather forecast next.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Hey, your Pratt Pack for Janoski's in Clinton, and it's coming. Christmas in July and the Pittsburgh Gem Show, July 19th and 20th, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5. Gift ideas for everyone from over 90 crafters and vendors. And the Gem Show includes 10,000 pounds of rocks, minerals, crystals, fossils, and gemstone jewels. Now, don't forget, it's sweet corn, the first of the season, summer sweet corn in abundance this holiday weekend, and everything to enjoy a happy and incredible holiday.